Astronauts to the moon.
Ignition sequence start. 3, 2, 1.
Houston, we have a problem.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
We copy you on the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue.
What you're seeing here is a mirage.
What's going on, everyone? It's Jaren from Jeranism back with yet another, you guessed it, live video for you today. It's Friday, September the 4th. That means it's time for a Jeranism Friday Lounge, and thank goodness I'm not alone. We've got a lot of panel members today. Got a lot to talk about. I called it episode number 42, The Final Frontier. First of all, we're back on YouTube. Thank you, YouTube, for allowing me out of YouTube jail, for, you know, getting me off of detention. I really do appreciate it. But again, we're not going to be here for long. This is a known thing. We're going to talk about a lot of channels that are getting beat up for doing nothing other than just using their free speech. Pretty ridiculous. And you know what's crazy? Well, I guess I'll talk to you about it when I introduce everybody. First, we've got Karen B. Karen B. currently with a strike on her record. Karen B., how dare you?
I know. I'm so naughty. What can I say?
You're just causing so much hate in the world and you know, impersonation and everything else that you're getting in trouble for. Stupid. Ridiculous. Well, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. So, yeah, and we'll get into all these problems in a second. We've also got Rodrigo Ferrari Nunez, the doctor. Rodrigo, welcome to the show.
Hello.
We also
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Bob from Globebusters. Bob, thanks for joining.
What's happening, everybody? We are officially South Carolinians now. We moved into the house yesterday, officially, and we're in it. And our first visitor was none other than Karen B. She just kind of came up and knocked at the door, and we're just, I don't know, we're thrilled to be here. Everything's working out really great for us. So life's on an upturn.
Wow, nice. Very exciting. Let's see here. We also have Austin Whitsitt from Whitsitt Gets It. Austin, welcome.
How's it going? What's going on?
Everything is going okay, I guess. There's some issues going on. I was trying to find... yeah, this is the one here. Let me see if I can bring this up.
Don't lie, Jonah. Everything is completely...
It's effed, right?
Yes.
And we also have Iru Landucci. Iru.
Hello, everyone. Yeah.
Let's get into it, Iru. I was going to try and bring something up here. Maybe I will. Oh, nobody can see the screen. Iru, let's get into it. Tell us what happened.
Yes. No, that's my voice, my tone of voice maybe, you know, express a little bit of my upset because finally YouTube get what they want and they shoot me down. They delete my main channel in Spanish completely with a third strike, accusing me that I talk bad about the WHO institution. So I was waiting for 23rd of September. I stopped talking about the yellow liquid. You know, we are here in the live, right? We are not on YouTube.
We are on
YouTube. We can talk a little more freely, but I'm stopped doing that. And I didn't know that for reading an article on, you know, regular, I cannot remember exactly if it was CNN or whatever. I read an article about some tactics of the WHO, and they accuse me that that they think that you cannot talk bad about that institution. So they give me the third strike and they shoot me down my main channel without the possibility to recovery. So that's it. That's the bad news. The good news is that finally I'm start uploading in my English channel, NPT for All, the series that I made in the Spanish about Flat Earth, and I finished to subtitle all the chapters. There are 10 chapters. Yeah. I contract a guy who helped me to do that. So today I uploaded the first chapter. I'm going to try to upload between 2 days one of the chapters until the number 10. So that's the happy part. The bad part is that I lose my main channel, my Spanish main channel, and I use that for living, like a lot of you know. So thank you so much for the rest of the people that support me on Patreon and help me to survive.
That is so sad. I can't believe. I mean, life is so good for us, and we got the complete opposite of the spectrum right now for you.
Thank
And
you,
it's just
Bob.
like
Thank you for the
unbelievable.
word.
Yeah,
Well, you know
but
what? We're gonna have to send you some Patreon money, so that'll
No,
at least
that's
help.
okay.
We do
You
have a
always
picture.
know.
We do have a picture of Bob's house. I want to get this up for everyone to see. So there's Bob's house. They're doing well.
Wow,
and
Bob, that's a super great house.
So doing well over there. No, I'm just kidding, Bob. That is not Bob's house.
but
There's a
you know,
river
those
rolling behind it.
things-
No, I'm just kidding.
I think that things like this happen for a good reason. Sometimes there must be something else up for Edu, because there's so many people that have supported your work in so many years, and wherever you go, it's away from YouTube is the way that people are trying to do this, but it is a hit right now. But I'm sure that people
Yes.
you rise
Yeah.
to the occasion.
No, completely agree. I mean, I am not going to, lose my energy of doing what I do. I gonna keep doing. I in the last 3 months I received like two strikes of the community guidelines and one strike for copyright, and I survived all those. I'm start doing different tactics. I'm stop talking about some subject that maybe I know that YouTube is going to penalty my channel. But this time, because I was just reading an article that it was even against the WHO. It's just like an
Explaining,
opinion.
describing
Yeah.
something, right?
So-
Describe it some
Ibra,
exactly. So
Let me ask you something, and maybe people don't get this or don't understand this, and maybe I'm wrong about it too. But so people who don't know, Ibra made a little bit of money on YouTube. Not a lot, not as much as it takes to live for a month, but enough to where it made him, worthwhile to work and to do videos and to do live streams. It's the same thing for me, right? But what people might not realize is that if they were to assist people on Patreon, and granted, Iru doesn't post on Patreon really. I don't really post on Patreon. The reason for that is because it just gives them another reason or another perch to knock us off of. But, Iru, isn't it true that, if more people supported you on Patreon, it would be the equivalent of what you were getting from YouTube, and basically you could always just start new channels and talk about basically whatever you wanted. Is that true?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. No, in fact, I upload things on Patreon, but I stop. Then I stop because when you mentioned that, I stopped doing that because for me was like a warning sign.
Right.
I start thinking, well, if I lose also the Patreon, well, I'm gonna be completely out of the grid in terms of doing what I do.
Right.
So I stopped posting that. But you're right. I mean, YouTube keeps the 30% of all incomes that you receive.
Terrible.
That's
You'd be getting much more. Yeah, the idea is to go to your own website. That's what you should. You already have that, don't you?
Yeah,
You have
no, I have my own website, but the thing is that when you use a platform, for example, in my case, like Patreon, you are giving to the user a secure transfer way to support you, without any type of nothing that I need to program myself or maybe contract another service.
That can be set up for free on your website too.
Okay, well, I didn't know about that. I don't have the time to research about that. So for me, Patreon was a really nice platform. And also, I really like when people support me on Patreon. That is the first thing that I do every day. I enter into the Patreon and check the message inbox because that is what I do. I contact people and I try to be in touch with people direct in Patreon. In my email, a lot of emails enter directly to my regular email inbox, so that is a very difficult for me to, read,
I do the same thing.
track, and trying to answer. But with Patreon, I answer all the time. I give advice. I send books. I send, whatever. But I even send software. That people sometimes ask me for. Hey, what program you use to do this or that? So I use it like I trying to give back a little bit of the same thing that the people give to me in terms. It doesn't matter if it's $1 or whatever. And Patreon for me is a good platform. But I beside the support, the thing that it's incredible how YouTube started attacking all those people that trying to give an opinion from the when the pandemic start.
Right.
They
It's,
Yeah.
it's
But
illegal.
you know what, Eru? I think ultimately, yeah, YouTube is going to force us off of here. But as Owen Benjamin has demonstrated quite well, we can do every bit as good, if not better, and probably even have a better audience overall when we take things to DLive and other platforms. Because YouTube is just blowing it for themselves, and they don't care because they have one agenda in mind, and it certainly isn't about truth, and it never was. So screw YouTube, and we just need to support each other. Speaking of that, check your PayPal. I put something in there to hopefully make you feel a little bit better. But we're with you, buddy. We're with you 100%.
Thank you so much. Let me just clarify that it's not the money itself. It's the fact that I want to work freely. I'm start feeling that like the same way that people that maybe want to work, but the pandemic thing can, stop them to open their business. And when you receive this type of things, I don't want to ask for money for anyone. I just want to do what I do. And if the people want to support me, perfect. But, going out there crying for YouTube, take me away my way of living, that is like something that punch you in the face, like something that I cannot describe in English, but it's something that.
But you don't want that. That's what you
No,
say.
exactly. So, but thank you so much, Bob. I am looking into the PayPal. You guys support me from the beginning. A lot of people that follow Jeran also and Globebuster support me, a lot. So I don't have any more words than thank you, but
patreon.com, everyone, patreon.com/Nur para Todos, and like he said, if you're looking at the screen, since I'm a patron of Iru's, you can see when you just go to his page, patreon.com/Nur para Todos, right here is a message button. So you can click that and you get in contact with us. It's the same for me, same for Bob, anybody who's got a patron, Karen B, Anthropology, for Rodrigo, Wits It Gets It. So it is a great way to support us if you are interested in doing that. So that is Iru's. And then in a little bit, Iru, can we watch your video in a little bit? And then I want people to subscribe to obviously your English channel, because your English channel has only, I think here, let me check, 788 subscribers. So maybe by the end of this show, I don't know how many people are watching now, but maybe we can get you over the 1,000, which is at least a start, because you can start live streaming from there. But yeah, it's a hit, and I know it's coming for me. I don't know if it's going to be, in a few months, or if it's in a year, or if it's in a few weeks or a few days. I don't know. I mean, Richie from Boston just got taken down. Like I said, Brian Stavely has tons of strikes on all his channels. High Impact Flicks.
Richie from Boston is amazing. That they also take down that channel.
Yeah, it's just, and it's, Dollar Vigilante, I was watching his channel this morning. He's shocked he's still up. The Crow House was taken down, right? Max Egan. So it's, basically, and I don't know if do you guys watch?
It's like a purge kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's like a purge. Yeah.
Yeah, and they don't do it all at once, right? They're going to do a little bit at a time, and anybody who's talking against, and I thought I had this up here, now I can't find it. Oh yeah, do you guys watch Awaken with JP? I don't know if you guys.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yes.
I love that guy.
We should watch this part, because Ira, let's make you feel a little bit better that this is what's happening to everybody. So let's watch this, and just because I think it's funny, and it goes right in line with what's going on. And how does he get away with talking about this stuff? Well, sometimes I think that he's maybe teaching us a little bit that we need to do some of these conversations or talks in a more comedic way. Because when you do comedy, for some reason, it seems like it's allowed. And,
What's to do with Alex, for instance? Is he getting struck and stuff?
Oh, Conspiracy Castle? Yeah, he's already got, 2 strikes, I think, on the Conspiracy Castle main channel. And
God, am I the only one without a strike right now?
You have 0?
No, I have no strikes at all.
Yeah.
I don't have any. all my lives now are unlisted. You cannot even. There's only 4 videos that you can actually go if you're a normal user of YouTube. You have to go through me to get to my work. No, it's just not there anymore.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, knock on wood, Jaron. I have no strikes. And as I was telling when you were taking a break before we started the show, I have been putting up the Globebusters show after we do them on DLive up on. I converted the Globebusters 24/7 channel to Globebusters DLive, and I put those up there even with the copyrighted content that we got burned for before, and not a peep out of them. Other than we keep getting the stupid copyright claim from Ray Parker Jr. for the Ghostbusters,
which is something.
Other than that,
which is a song that we actually paid for.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
I guess it's got some elements of it in it that they able to claim for some reason.
Yeah, the melody, part of the melody that probably the or something.
Heaven forbid. As if we're taking away business from the main. I mean, that's what copyright is really for, right? Copyright means that you're taking basically business from the original, as if our song is taking business away from Ray Parker Jr. Get the hell out of here.
Right.
Or whatever his name is.
The one they sent to me, they tagged 10 seconds of a 2.5-hour video.
Oh, man.
And they say that they own all the they can do whatever they want in that video, and I cannot monetize it.
If you put 10 seconds of copyrighted material in your 6-hour live stream, they'll claim the whole thing. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, they take the whole thing.
They take the whole thing.
They're just bastards.
Yeah, so let's watch a little bit of this. I mean, just because so many of us are dealing with this, and I think it puts YouTube on blast in a very comedic way, and YouTube needs to wake up, and maybe they're never going to wake up because this is their intent, and I think a lot of us agree with what he's got to say about Trump. I mean, he says flat out in this little thing. Oh, well, let's listen to it. Let's have a listen.
What the heck? Videos.
Oh, so it's called What's It Like Getting Censored on YouTube?
What the heck? Video's gone. This video was removed from YouTube. What? You're censoring me? Hi, you just censored my video. Sure did. Why? You violated our community guidelines. I violated your community guidelines. Could you be more specific? You violated our community guidelines. Could you be a little more specific on what I did? You violated our community guidelines. Well, that doesn't tell me anything. Let me put it to you this way. You violated our community guidelines. My video wasn't hurting anyone. I don't understand why you would censor me. Oh, right. It says here you violated our community guidelines. Who even writes your community guidelines? Not our community, I can tell you that. Lately, you've been censoring doctors sharing their valid medical opinion. You've been banning their videos too. Why? Well, their medical expertise violates our community guidelines. But you guys aren't doctors. Yeah, we're not. Then why would you censor what doctors have to say? Because we control speech. You think you can control speech? No, not at all. We do control speech. Why would you want to do that? Because we have community guidelines, and it's important that the community only speaks what's in alignment with the community guidelines. Otherwise, we'll censor the community for the community's own good. It's like communism without the cold weather. But that infringes on freedom of speech. Oh no, not at all. Our community is free to say what we tell them they can say. But that's not freedom of speech. It is according to our community guidelines, but not according to the Constitution. We don't have to abide by the Constitution because we're a private enterprise. You're a monopoly. Thank you. There's gotta be a reason why you're doing all this. Censoring speech, banning videos by doctors talking about hydroxychloroquine, censoring anything about the coronavirus that doesn't perfectly align with the mainstream narrative. What's the reason? Oh, a reason? Yeah, absolutely. We don't want Trump reelected. What? Yeah, ever since COVID got politicized, we decided to ban anything that doesn't support the left's perspective. So you just decided to censor people? Well, they were violating our community guidelines. Got it. And those were written in a way that goes against Trump and supports the left. Exactly. You are currently not violating our community guidelines. Look, I'm not a fan of the guy and a lot of people don't like him, but why are you so intent on keeping him out of office? Here in Silicon Valley, we think Trump is all that's wrong in America. He is very un-American. But by taking away people's First Amendment right to freedom of speech and controlling what the population can and can't say, like you're running a communist dictatorship, kind of makes what you're doing to save people from Trump much worse than what Trump's doing. We choose not to see it that way. We are very American. You are very un-American. I think someone needs to save us from you. Our community guidelines that we've written for your protection will be all that you'll need. Take a copy. This just says community guidelines. Right. That's what you have to follow. But what are the community guidelines? Whatever we want them to be in the moment. This way it just stays pretty open-ended. You have a dangerous level of power over people. If you can't learn to enjoy conforming to the community guidelines and all the freedoms they give you, we'll be very happy to completely silence you by deplatforming you. I think what you're doing is a very bad idea. This video is...
So that's good. I mean, at least he's doing.
Yeah,
a little-
it's not funny when you have a shutdown of your YouTube channel, but it's good.
No, well, it is funny because it's really putting YouTube on blast for exactly what they have way too much power. The free speech is so instrumental.
right.
Well, at least, and I feel like I speak sometimes from a very U.S.-centric kind of point of view. I always admit that. I mean, so for me, I mean, one of the instrumental things about being in the United States and being a citizen here is the freedom of speech. It's so instrumental in everything that we do, and that's why anybody who can talk crap all they want about the Constitution or whatever, I mean, you look at it and you say, no, that is how it should be. I mean, there is no doubt. And why do people say, why do you like living in the U.S. so much? Why don't you move to another country? Well, I mean, if we were actually had those rights protected as they are guaranteed to us, what a country it would be in. So it's a very utopian kind of idea, but it is the way it's supposed to be. So when you have companies like YouTube that are just shutting down, I mean, where it's funny is not, I guess I see what you're saying. It's not funny, but where he's so on is where he's talking about he didn't do anything to hurt anybody. Iru Landucci has never hurt a soul. And yet YouTube is just pushing people around, getting rid of channels, giving strikes to channels, and then they do it under this guise of community guidelines when they don't even tell you. I don't know if people don't realize that. They don't tell you what you've done wrong. I'll do a 3-hour...
It's like a snowflake society, right?
Yeah, I'll do
It's
a whole
like
3-hour
anything that
live
might
stream.
offend somebody, that's good enough.
And if people don't like it, they don't have to watch. Here's the thing. If you don't like Iru Landucci, don't watch him. It's that simple. I mean, that's how you police each other in a world where, believe me, if Iru's saying a bunch of nonsense, then guess what? Nobody would watch him. It's just what would happen.
And you know what? Like, I'm pretty sure because I heard, and I haven't checked because I don't want to check, but I know that on YouTube, there's like bestiality and other shit like that, and that's okay. Even if it's for 18 and over or whatnot.
Right. It's more
But that's
about
what I heard from people in Brazil, that you can easily find that kind of shit.
Well, what's even more pathetic is, you're not allowed to read numbers from the CDC, right? There's numbers out there, and again, this is I'm putting my. Here's the thing. I told myself yesterday that I can't just go into every stream, because here's the thing. It's been bothering me inside so much, and you're going to look at this and be like, "Well, I can't believe you're doing that," but we cannot be on this platform afraid to speak. We just can't do it. I mean, it's just. You are absolutely cucking. You're absolutely doing the one thing that we're speaking against. It would be like me telling everybody not to wear a mask and then going out in public and wearing a mask all day long. That is, I mean, who wants to be a hypocrite like that? So I can't be talking about free speech and how important free speech is and then get on this platform and pussyfoot around. You just can't do it. I mean, and again, will we eventually be taken down? Well, I'm trying to do it in a way that, like I said, I'm not telling people how they should treat the COVID, how they should feel about COVID. But when we say things like, now the CDC has said that only 6% of the 200 and something thousand deaths, or whatever it is, only 6% died from actual COVID. The other ones had 2 to 4 comorbidities, which means that they had other reasons that they died. When you're not allowed to say that, people need to recognize there's a problem. Like Awaken with JP said they're silencing doctors, people who went to medical school. And again, these guys, they have every right to get on YouTube and say what they feel about what's going on in the medical industry. They have every right to do that, but YouTube takes them down. So, I mean, people need to really recognize what's going on here. That is communism. Or it's
criminal.
It's criminal. I mean,
there's, like you're saying,
they're not doctors.
Laws and what you grew up with.
YouTube's not doctors, but they have a narrative that they have to stick to. It's just like Facebook. It's just like Twitter. You have to stick to this narrative, and then you're allowed to exist. And if you go outside of that, and again, I always talk about there's one party, and I know you don't want to get into this whole left versus right thing, but to me it's so obvious that there's one direction that is about liberty and freedom, and then there's another direction that's about the opposite of that. It's a very scary thought to me, the direction that we're going. And I don't know how to get around it. For me, I'm hoping people come to DLive. Thank you, everybody here on DLive, because that's eventually going to have to be it. That's why I'm promoting Patreon, because if that is done, if you support my channel, if you support Rodrigo's channel, if you support Globebusters, Karen B., then there can be a way that we can get around this, at least for now. Now, in 2 years, will they come up with something new or get rid of us from another platform? Maybe. I mean, here's a article that I wanted to show, and this is what's going to start to happening. I'm just trying to show people what is going on. But this is, let me bring this up here. What? Hold on a second.
My
Something
name is
happened
Hatice Cengiz.
here. I went to the wrong thing here. Let me get this up. Make sure I get this right. Okay, there we go.
I think Google has it coming for them. You know what I'm saying? I think it's gonna happen for them. I don't think it's hopium, but I think they're gonna get it.
I hope so, but it's like he also said in that video, he says, you're a monopoly.
Right.
Well, they are, because there's no other streaming
"Thanks."
video platform that can compete on the level that YouTube does, that is open to creators like us.
No, and in fact, if they're gonna be someday another one, is gonna be from the same guys,
Right.
because the infrastructure you need to do something like YouTube is beyond our comprehensive thing. You know, it's impossible if you are not part of the lead. You know, to do something like YouTube.
Yeah, I
At
saw
least
that
in
they're
the
getting
short
sued.
time.
They're getting sued for the technology that they stole, which is a technology that brings. That's what I heard. At least I saw the guy who's suing them and everything in an interview. They stole technology that does all their video faster and all their delivery. Everything is better about them. They stole from somebody, and they actually said they took the technology and said, "Oh, just sue us." And they started using it. So apparently 90% of the technology the technology that they make 90+% of the revenue with, that's stolen. Supposedly the lawsuit's worth $1 trillion. So I don't know if even if that doesn't go, that may take years, but there's more than that coming for them. There's the other violation, which is what they did to Edo right now, which is when you create a service that's supposed to be open for everybody and you can get income from this and you're dependent on it, they kick you out for no reason. That's something that they, I forget what it's called, torturous interference is called in the American law. And they supposed to have been sued for this already. That was that movement, was it a year ago or whatnot? So, I don't know. It cannot last for too long. I mean, I don't know, man.
Well,
It's
it'll
crazy.
last essentially until they give everybody the jab, which is really what they're going for. And of course, the consequences of that, I'll leave that to your imagination, but it ain't going to be good.
So this is an article from Time from last week, or wait, August 20th. I guess it's 2 weeks ago at this point. But this is what's happening now, right? So props to DLive. Let me give props to DLive, first of all, for not responding to this article. This article reached out, it says, numerous times to DLive for comment, and DLive would never return there. And I hope they never do. And that would be so impressive, because that's what really, DLive, if you don't know what D stands for, it's decentralized. Meaning there should be nobody overseeing and knocking people down. And again, Bob and I have talked about this. Jason Lingren and I have talked about this. There is a line that you have to draw when you have a platform, and that line needs to be anything inciting violence, right? So if there is a video on DLive, I have to make this point, because if somebody does get on DLive and says we need to go burn down this building and we need to go injure this person, then I understand if the platform takes it down, because they're not going to be responsible for something like that. But when you're talking about people giving conspiracy theories or having a conversation, talking like we do, there's no reason. But this article basically says, it's going after DLive. It tells a flat-out lie here. I couldn't believe it, but it says, the model can be, people are basically going to DLive after being banned from mainstream sites for spreading hate speech and conspiracy theories. So basically they're saying that we're on YouTube, we're getting kicked off, and then we go to DLive, and DLive needs to be stopped now. It talks about, what's his name, Nick Fuentes. It says that he's earned more than $140,000 off his DLive streams. You can go look that up on stream. What's it called? Social Blade. It's not even close. He hasn't even made half that much. So I don't know where they're getting that number from. They're just making it up.
Yeah.
But again, it talks about everybody making money on DLive as a white nationalist, extremist, or conspiracy theorist, and it's going on now and saying that DLive needs to be shut down, that DLive needs to be regulated. So now, will that happen? We'll have to see. Sometimes these places, like Eero just said, he just said if there's ever another platform where people can go, that they'll eventually be owned by the same people. So will people that already own YouTube and stuff come along and buy out DLive, and then is it just going to be another case of the same? I don't know. For this one here, it says the social media giants like YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook target hate speech and misinformation. Sites like DLive seem to be turning a blind eye. And then they always do this one. Former users and employees say. Yeah, who are these former users and employees? Why is there former users?
Propaganda.
Oh, it's absolutely terrible. They care more about having good numbers than weeding these people out. A former employee of DLive who is granted anonymity. I mean, these are the kind of articles that piss me off. Oh, yeah, there's a former employee of DLive who was granted anonymity. Come on, give me a break. But it just goes on and on to attack DLive. And luckily, DLive didn't respond. The migration of far-right personalities to DLive illustrates how, despite mainstream platforms' recent crackdown, the incentives that govern this ecosystem
What are the examples?
are
Do they give
thriving.
examples, or they just speak in these kind of platitudes?
Yeah, they might give a few examples, but it's just the way they talk about it. Some had long prepared for a crackdown by setting up copycat accounts. Copycat accounts, they're not copycat accounts. We have our own account. So basically what this article is saying is that some have long prepared for a crackdown by setting up. I don't have a copycat account on DLive for jeranism. It's my own account. You can't copycat yourself. I have an account on DLive. It's allowed that you can go to DLive and make an account. That's what I did. It's not I have a copy. I'm dangerous.
Man.
I'm a copycat account. Look what I'm doing.
Yourself.
You know what though, Jaron? Somebody has the actual Globebusters account on DLive, and I've got Globebusters-FE.
Right.
But there is a Globebusters account, and I've reported this to DLive, and they're even using our logo, my little icon thing,
really?
all of that stuff.
Wow.
And I have reported it to them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're all about getting rid of that." And of course, not a damn thing has ever been done about it.
Right.
Wow.
It's just so sad because these guys.
YouTube doesn't do anything about it either, though. It's like
it's so sad when you say, here's what you hear from other people. When we complain about YouTube, what do you always hear? People say, well, then go make your own platform. Then go make your own website if you have a problem with YouTube. Well, here's the thing. DLive does that. They go make their own platform, and then what do these articles do? They come out against DLive, right? So it's like, how dare you make your own platform? How dare you do something different than YouTube? How dare you try and do something different? Here's talking about, while Twitch takes 50% cut from live streamers earning and YouTube takes 45%, platforms like DLive allow content creators to keep 90% of what they make. What a problem, right?
Better deal by far.
By the way, I've never shouted these guys out. Charles Wayne and Cole Chen, thank you very much for making DLive. We like the platform so far. It's going great. Says they were founded in 2017, who made no secret on their ambition to build a platform that rivaled Twitch. They described the site as a general interest streaming platform focused on everything from esports, lifestyle, crypto, and news. But two things set it apart from its competitors. It didn't take a cut of revenue generated by its streamers, and it issued an implicit promise. So notice implicit promise to be a less moderated, more pervasive space, which is exactly what a lot of people were looking for. So big ups for them. Of course, it says that they were, they tried to reach out, and they didn't respond, which is good because that's what they want. They want you to respond so they can get you in these conversations and then hang them out to dry, right? But it says that DLive seemed to be openly cultivating a right of center audience. No, it's people going to DLive and then the audience following. It's like free market capitalism. Heaven forbid that you do things outside of the mainstream. It's just so stupid. How about this? This is so funny when they see things like this. The company may be even more reliant on these accounts now. Some users have left the site. Which users? Complaining publicly about the virulent racism and anti-Semitism spilling over into regular channels and game streams. And then they give a quote, right? DLive is a safe haven for racists and alt-right streamers. I wonder who said this quote. Somebody probably important, right? Said one user on Twitter. Said one user on Twitter. Now if you're a user on Twitter and you can say some bullshit, that'll end up in an article as a quote. Said one user. He could also say DLive is a place where cats rain from the heavens, and then they could put that quote in there and say, oh, one user on Twitter said that. Well, it's a bunch of nonsense. Why would you even write that? Seems to me DLive is the new platform for white supremacists, wrote another, echoing complaints that it's a literal Nazi breeding ground and the place where racists don't get deplatformed. It's just ridiculous. So they're talking about, they're just hanging these people out to dry. And
I never saw any Nazis on D Live.
Me neither.
I mean, I'm not looking for that content, but I never saw it either.
No, I haven't seen it. And again, if somebody's inciting hate and or violence, I don't think it'll last very long. But we'll have to see how it goes. I just give big props to D Live for at least standing their ground for now. And anybody who's out there who's trying to think of a $1 million idea, a free speech platform is that $1 million idea. You have to have $1 million to build it. Now you'll make money. You'll make money. Believe me, people. It is something that is desired. Is a place where you can go and listen to people speak freely. Yes. And that is desired. So I don't know who's out there, anybody who has money. I mean, it ain't me. I'm certainly not going to be able to fund it, but it's a great way to go. It's a great direction to go. And so D Live's doing that, and props to them. And thank you everybody who's watching on D Live. I don't know if we have more people on D Live right now or YouTube, but it's always nice to see when it's more. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, that's also another reason why I like to support, the small guys like Alex, who has launched TrueTube. He's got tens of thousands of dollars of his own money into this, and he's, it may not be the greatest thing in the world right now, but it's a grassroots kind of thing, and this is exactly the kind of stuff that we need, and I'm all for supporting these people and people like Alex doing this. We need it.
I've been working on my website a little bit, and just to show it here, I'm just trying to show people a few things that I'm doing, which hopefully get better. But for now, all the videos that we do show up here. So if you wanted to watch Thursday's show from yesterday, you just go to my website, click that. It will bring up Thursday. This is yesterday's show, the entire thing. So all 3 hours of it, where YouTube was only a half hour. Here's the other part of it that's from D Live. But another link that I have up here, and I just got this working now. I have to fill it in. But if you go to links at the top, this is going to be a place where there's a bunch of YouTube channels listed here. I'm going to have a bunch of D Live channels listed here. We're going to have a bunch of Patreon. So, hey, if you guys are watching, you guys can see this. So, here's my Patreon: Globebusters, Iru Landucci, Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, Rodrigo, Austin Whitsitt, Conspiracy Castle, Karen B. So I'm going to have, and this thing will just be littered with all kinds of them, where people can go here, easily find these D Live websites. Stop, Look, Think. Here's TrueTube. Here's channels list, which if you click that, if you haven't seen that before, this is Alex's site where you can basically scroll down here and there's all these channels. So, for instance, Richie from Boston is gone from YouTube, right? But type in here, Richie. So we're typing Richie. Whoops. Why does it say 0? Did I spell it wrong? Hold on. Channels list. Well, maybe I'll just go down. If you go down to the R's, which might take you a little while to scroll down that far. So we're barely at D's. Anyway, wait till it populates. Get all the way down to the R's, and you'll see Richie from Boston, and you'll be able to watch all his videos still. So that's awesome. Anybody who is looking for a channel on YouTube, like I can't find this channel. For instance, Nur para Todos, right? And we'll have to keep going down here. It just takes a while. This is an amazing site. I mean, how much space does this take, Bob?
Yeah,
I can't imagine.
Crazy.
I mean, it must take a ton of terabytes. I can't even imagine how much this would take. But let's go down here to Nur. Here we go. So Nur para Todos. Here you go. So you can click on this. So Iru's channel's gone on YouTube.
I love your pronunciation, man.
Yeah, it's very good, right? So here's Iru's channel, 378 videos, even though you're not going to find these videos right now on YouTube. So that works for all channels. It's a great place. But anyway, that's going to be a way that you can find all these links. So again, give me a little while to populate all these. But that would be
I just opened my first D Live channel.
Good.
So yeah, I'm gonna open the English version and the Spanish version. So.
And you don't have to wait till you have 1,000 subs to go live. You can just go live and Iru, I believe that you'll be able to. I know you say that the Spanish community doesn't know it, but you can introduce it to the Spanish community, and they can give you lemons. And then you said you've got a U.S. bank account, right?
A friend of mine,
yeah.
Yes, I use my friend bank account, yes.
Yeah, so it is possible, and then you can get get a little help from there. So it is possible, but again, for now, the best place for people to go is Patreon. Help out. Oops, I thought I had that up. Help out Iru there. Help us all out if you can, because this is getting to be something that is incredibly difficult to do. High Impact Flicks, great work, and now he's gone. I mean, I think he's now on D Live and it's got quite a few.
I was gonna say there's this one thing, Iru. If you're gonna go on D Live, there's one thing inside Restream. Restream.io. Do you use that?
No,
For
I
multiple-
need to.
There's
okay.
one thing in there which might be very useful for you, because the live, of course, you have to go live all the time, and your content's live, and you cannot upload your videos. So you have to be going live, but you can do something within Restream. There's a thing that you upload your videos to Restream, and Restream goes live on your DLive for you automatically. So you can have 50 videos in a row on a schedule going live on DLive.
And DLive is operate with OBS too?
Yeah, very easy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Restream will do it. So you through Restream, you just use the key from Restream, and it will connect to your Facebook, even your Facebook page if you like to go live there, at the same time as your DLive and anything else you want to try, like Twitch or whatever you want to try. You can get it all together with a single key on your OBS through Restream. So it's a good option.
Great. Yeah, completely. I'm gonna check it out. Thank you.
So it's getting tough out there, and I did want to watch this real quick. I don't know if you guys saw from yesterday. We'll show this real quick just because pretty funny. This is how we started the show yesterday with Dave Weiss. It's only 2 minutes and 25 seconds, so enjoy. It's pretty funny. In case you missed it. Nope, he's not there yet. We do have some... By the way, we are brought to you today by Frito-Lay. Did you know that?
Frito-Lay, yeah, great company. I mean, their genetically modified corn is delicious. It's some of the best genetically modified corn there is. Wow, I wish you...
Dave, are you there yet? Dave, he's not there yet.
There's a lot of machinery up there, Jaron. It's probably hard to hear.
Yeah, oh yeah, just cords, cables, connectors, everything you could possibly want.
But in space, though, on that when they landed, I'm pretty sure Buzz and Neil were able to speak on top of the booster. So maybe there's some sort of sound insulation. I mean, they're able to clearly speak.
Very
on the way to the
quiet engine, and very impressive feat by those two guys. I don't know what's going on. Dave was supposed to join, and Dave, when he says that his total was $24, it's very true. This is how much it cost him to do this little parlor trick here. But I mean, to make it perfect, all he would really need, I mean, I think he says he would need a $40 lights. He probably need $200 lights. But if he had $200 lights on the left and right and his setup right now, so for about $224, this would be as perfect as you see it on the ISS. But the ISS looks empty right now other than the floating bags of Fritos. You don't think so?
No, because I bought 2 box lights and it lights up everything great. You just have to set them up right distance, and it's a nice, soft, diffused light. Lights up everything.
All right, maybe I stand corrected. I think it would be flawless for $250, and hopefully, I don't know. Let's see if we unmute the station. If anybody was gonna have some terrible. You see in the lower right here. Here was how it was actually being done. I actually know why that's going on, and it will be. What is this thing now?
Wow, what is that thing? Look at that, dude. You can see through it. Man, the International Space Station, that's this very special place, Sharon. It's almost a holy place.
Oh, if I was ever there, I would definitely get on my knees and thank the good Lord. So I've talked about how easy it would be. You know, you could have these guys in green suits basically swimming around doing basically just like divers, right? Carrying the astronauts around when they do these spacewalks. It would be so simple, and they'd be in water and you would never see the guys. And I've tried to show video before where I think you can spot it and you can see little bits and little shadows.
Yeah.
And it's there, whether you want to believe it or not. It's fine. You know, if you want to think that these guys are up in space, go right ahead. For a lot of us,
it's the famous one of the helmet as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, you can totally see it. So space may be the final frontier, but it's made in Dave Weiss's attic, for being honest. So. So that's
yeah, it shoots. I think it's like space pellets. It shoots. I mean, once you just get it in motion, Jaron, they go forever. You can shoot a space pellet to Mars.
It's quite beautiful. Yes, Flat Smack Biblical, you are right. There is advertising sponsorship. We're getting paid heavily by free. So pretty funny.
That's impossible. That's impossible.
Very easy to make things float around, and NASA lies. So I'll put that link in the description. That is on Dave Weiss's.
Yeah, speaking of Dave Weiss, are you aware of what he's doing right now?
Right now,
his boat.
Is he on an interview?
He is on an interview with the very same people that I interviewed with this morning. And I'm not going to break loose with all that just yet, but suffice it to say, talk about a shot in the arm for Flat Earth. Wowzers, people.
All right.
This is going to be great.
That's the 100 episode thing.
Yeah, and it's now that I've got more detail, more inside information on it, I'm utterly blown away. I unloaded when I talked to those people. I unloaded this morning like I was just channeling something. I mean, it was this epic download that I just let them have it with, and they were blown away to say the least. And Dave's talking to them right now, and I told him, I said, look, what you're about to do or what you're trying to do is going to be met with an opposition of epic force, but they are saying that all the people in Hollywood and all the producers, they're saying, no, this needs to be done. Everybody is talking about it, and everybody seems to think it's a great thing, and they think that they're going to be able to pull this off. So we'll fill in everybody else on all the details on it, but it is epic. This is going to be great, guys.
Wow.
I am dropping in the chat. I know we were both chats the link to Iru's English channel, hoping that we can get him to 100 subs. So let's try that. Gosh, see how that drops in there and then it goes up there too fast? I don't know if it's falling behind. Let's try it again.
You haven't been watching the chat. It's trying to catch up to you.
Right,
I've been posting his channel link in the chat, though.
Let's see how many people we got here. So is he getting close yet? You would think we could do it together as a team. Come on.
So it was going up last time I checked. I haven't checked it for a minute now.
Let's see if we can get you.
Karen has a technique of posting the link 3 or 4 times in a row, right? That also helps to kind of flag it.
I spam it.
So we're at 818. So everybody, if you're not subscribed to his English channel, I want to watch. Iru, can we watch your video?
Yes, of course. I mean,
you want me to do that? You want me to do the audio?
Again,
do you want me to narrate it in English?
Well, it's a chapter of 10 minutes. The history behind that is with a friend. Well, not a friend. With,
you might want to, Jaron, just because it's subtitled in English and it might be hard for people to see it. So if you read it, that'd be great.
I'll probably read it.
And there is a few when videos are in English. Of course, I didn't subtitle, but there are just a few. But I hope the English subtitles are correct because I contract a guy to do that. So
they're kind of they're kind of correct. I'll say they're okay. They're not bad. But I would not use that guy again. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay,
sorry.
But it was cheap.
Oh, not too bad. Okay.
Not too bad after all.
I would say
there was 10 chapters, more than 2 hours of video to subtitle. So
that's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, yes.
I was gonna say use me, and then I forgot I don't know Spanish. So that's probably your prerequisite.
And you are not
Google
cheap.
Translate it.
I'm so cheap here.
You could Google Translate it and then just correct the English.
Yeah, then send it to me and I'll correct the English. Like if you would have sent me this ahead of time, I could have corrected some of the English. Thank you very much for the super chats. Rhino says, enjoyed the Enoch chat with Skiba. That was last week. If you guys missed that, you can only catch that on my website, jeranism.com. What a great crew here today. Anyone who bullies Iru has to be a douche. I agree with that, Iru.
I agree with that, too.
We all agree with that. Cynical Skeptic says, I refuse to listen to the channels that do not touch the pandemic. This is for our survival. And Tor Rasmussen says, any thoughts on the new rabbit hole that we live in a crater and that the moon shows a reflection of our realm from a channel 8 months old with 12 videos on it? I've heard a lot of people talk about it.
I just watched that video not long ago. It's pretty good. It's thought-provoking, to say the least.
Yeah. But anything outside of our known boundaries is still just going to be speculation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look at it.
It's interesting speculation, but
what fun is life if you can't speculate?
I thought it would be more clear, because people are saying the Earth is reflected on the moon and stuff, and I thought I would see the continents really clearly, but then I saw that it was more, some really small areas on the moon that some people were pointing to because they have a rim around, and that could, interesting, but hard to,
You want to know something?
It's cool that we have so many ideas like this. I think it's thinking outside the box at the very least, right? And that's cool.
You want to know something crazy, insane? Tell me if I'm the only one who feels this way. Can you believe that we were all in Amsterdam? It was 11 months ago. Doesn't it seem like 3 years?
Yes,
it does seem like a long time.
Completely, yeah.
What?
It's a different world, dude. We live in a different world now.
11 months ago. It's insane to me. I can't even imagine. I mean, Wow.
And we are not even, I think, Karen, you need to correct the word. We live in a different world because we just are in a different world. We not live anymore, you know?
Yeah. It's
Right,
insanity.
exactly.
I can't believe that. All right, let's start watching this. This is good stuff here. Turn it down a little bit here just so I can talk over it if I need to. So it says, you could say, who's the idiot speaking about...
Wait a moment.
Sorry.
Play pause. There is an inconvenience, and maybe it's a little big one, which is that we spoke a little fast. Or not fast, we spoke normal, regular.
Spanish is very quick.
Spanish is very quick, and unfortunately, I subtitle everything, but I cannot retouch the times. So I know there's gonna be a little more. It's gonna be the next step. It's maybe I going to trying to put some voice over, not my voice, but other English, who wants to maybe put the voice on it.
It's good. One of the users, I mean, some of the people would read it easily. It's
could read easy. Yeah. For read it's very easy to read. I can then in
just edit it on.
software. Exactly, but the problem is that sometimes maybe you're gonna need to, if you want to complete the subtitle is
okay, and pause it. You're saying.
If you are not going to, or if you can use the tool from YouTube and put a 0.75 speed and lower a little down the volume, because I don't know.
But we should stop it as we go.
Over, yeah, it's gonna be.
And we can
stop
it as we
to
go.
keep up.
If anybody's got any comments or anything, please stop me as we read. But I mean, he said, you could say, who's the idiot speaking about a flat Earth, and say who could be speaking about it in this day and age, or say, does someone have consistent arguments that sustain that the Earth is flat? All those are three different topic levels in which you can approach this topic. So then, interesting angles do appear. First, the right to doubt. Could anyone say we have no right to doubt? Is science sacrosanct? The debate is sealed. We have nothing to discuss? I think not. We should debate it. And we all should agree with that, right? I mean, obviously, this is the point of what we're saying. I mean, are people not allowed to ask questions anymore? And in this world where free speech has been taken away, part of that is asking questions. You are to believe as you're told and not question anything. And if you question it, not only will you be laughed at in general, but by society and by even your family, just because you go against what you were taught in school.
And the guy who spoken is an architect from Chile. It's just for
he was in Barcelona twice,
yes,
right?
Yes.
When I went, he came from Chile twice.
Yes, and he was in many interviews in Chile. He put the face on TV programs. He debate with the geologist live. The guy who was, you cannot imagine his face. The geologist was completely idiotic.
I haven't seen this. I really like to see that.
No, that is a really good one. I used to have in my old YouTube channel. I don't know if you know that my YouTube channel was closed. But the thing is that the guy who speak is a really, good architect that start researching flat Earth like 4 years ago. He participated in a lot of events, like we did in the conference, and so it's a really nice guy.
But I'm really willing to help you. Like, if you were to give me this video ahead of time, I could go through and fix these. I would have to ask you some questions, like, what are we trying to say here? Because, something here is not right? It says you can not start a debate by saying this is not, and not possible, and possible spelled wrong. But I would be able to fix that and then say, what are we trying to say here? Because this is not correct English. By saying this is not, and not possible. I know what the point is. The point is you can't start a debate by saying this is not possible and that is not possible. Right?
Exactly, yes.
Right. So, I mean, I'd be able to help you at least fix that, and then we could put it out in English.
Yeah, I think this is probably he tried to be doing a literal thing when he's probably saying this very fast in Spanish, and then he tried to put every word in there when you don't really need it.
Yeah, the guy was not a professional, doing this because
Yes.
for that, translating 2.5 hours was a really huge cost to do that. So I understand, like Jaden said, there is gonna be some errors, but the thing
It's
is,
all right. It's great.
this is the first one, but I already have all the next 9 chapters, and there are not long chapters. There are chapters
Oh, you already have them
between
done?
10 and 15 minutes. Yeah, I have
Awesome.
everything done without with the final renders. Today I just finished the final render for this first chapter,
Gotcha.
but I have all the subtitles already
Okay,
done.
sweet. Good. Then you're already set. All right.
Yes. So
Let's keep
I going to bother you and send you the chapter 2, and when you have time, you can just check it.
Okay.
I'll do women voices for you if you want.
Yeah, she's got the best voice. I mean, she could do it.
Yeah.
We got that.
That would be nice.
So this
I don't
is
have
the-
any
He's done a
women
lot of this.
on the production, unfortunately, but I really love to have your voice on my voice.
All right. And this guy is the one Iru was talking about, the architect, Guillermo Wood. It's because if you do, you are already entrenched. You have already taken a conceptual and intellectual decision to think there are no other options. I think doubt is fundamental. Flat Earth Chapter 1. So what is the shape of the world in which we live? I'm sorry to make this act of terrorism in Argentina. Nowadays, showing $1 is an act of terrorism, but it's not like what they told us. Basically, that it's a spherical Earth. To determine the shape of the Earth, Ira, I'm going to go ahead and ask you, why do you show the dollar bill at that point? Explain.
Well, because the journalists that make me the questions, we have been talking, as usual, before going to record, and I just, I always have with me $1 bill to show that anytime that people maybe want to remind you like you are a conspiracy guy,
right.
I showed that symbol and said, look, man, here is a symbol that in our days still print in this way.
Right.
And it says this, it said that, Novus Ordo Seclorum.
Right.
You have the pyramid, the eye. So I am not a conspiracy. I'm just an historian, quote unquote. This is, our reality. So that's I put, because this is not script documentary. This just was an interview that I edited and add the graphics and the producer add the music and that type of multiple task thing.
What is the opinion? So if as an American here, what is the opinion of Argentinians of America when you show that dollar bill? So my what I'm getting at is, do they think of the pyramid with the eye on top as if America is the top of the pyramid and that's how the people look at it? Or because we in the United States we don't feel like the eye of the pyramid is us. We feel like we are, being held down. We are the bottom of the pyramid, and the top of the pyramid is those in control of the United States. How does Argentina see it?
Well, unfortunately, 90% of the people is asleep, so they don't even see that pyramid in the $1 bill. Because first of all, when you're going to buy dollars in Argentina, you are not going to use or buy $1 or $10 or $20 or $50. You just only operate with $100. If you go to the bank and say, I want to buy this amount of pesos, our money in dollars, it's only gonna give you $100 bills. So nobody really paying attention to $1 bill.
Right.
The people that if you are walking on street and make like some kind of test, and showing that to regular people, the majority is not going even to know what to say, and the people that know that symbol immediately they're gonna say, yeah, this is represent Masonic symbols and blah blah blah. But 90% are completely ignore about that symbol in the $1 bill because we don't use dollars.
Got you. Any other questions, or you guys want to continue? Anybody? Okay, to determine the shape of the Earth, I recommend to everyone to do something that we have not been asked to do in our educational system, which is, I don't know if the camera will take this in, but it's to study the Gleason's map. Why do I say this? It's because it is an azimuthal projection. Like if they've taken a globe, gashed it, and flattened it. But in fact, the globe is an inflated and stitched version of the azimuthal projection. And those stitches nowadays are beginning to break loose, right? The UN logo has a Gleason's projection, but without the inclusion of Antarctica. And, you know, we always have to point this out because I don't know if people know, there are 33 sections to this. I don't know if you say that, next I forgot. But
no, I didn't say it.
Yeah.
I didn't say
so
it.
1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times 8 total sections. Here's 32 plus the middle.
And the idea was, I didn't say because the idea was not going too much magical or symbologies in symbology, because the idea is to bring new people, you know, the most empiric thing. You know, if you start doing a lot of symbology, maybe
Gematria,
you lose some of the new ones.
Yeah, absolutely. Without the inclusion of Antarctica. Strategically, unfortunately, to my discontent, the way to determine the shape of the world, technically in our days, has to be in an indirect manner. And that is the method used in science, but it might not be the most certain, like a direct observation. But it's what we have. How can we determine this? By starting with a compass. We know that it always points to the center, to the north of the world, where the North Pole would be inside the sphere, when in fact the compass should operate in a different manner if everything points to a nucleus. The plenipotentiary center of mass, so like the center of the planet is what you're saying, right?
Yes, exactly.
Gotcha. The compass, what it does in our world, obviously, is to point to a magnetic pole. Not the center of a sphere, but the center of a circumference. If you put a magnet on a Gleason's map and move the compass around it from east to west, you'll notice that it revolves in relation to that center.
And can you put pause there?
Sure, go ahead.
So now...
What?
Sorry,
okay.
I add these 2 videos on top. Right. I know there is multiple subtitles to read, but one is just a tiny video that there is some pilot on board of a plane going near, I believe was 70, 80 latitude, and the compass in the plane start getting crazy. And the other hand, in the right part of the screen, you have a guy in the Antarctic, in Antarctica, showing that the compass is completely useless.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, when you reach or when you approach near the most powerful part of our world in terms of the magnetism, the compass get crazy. But when you are going far away, the compass start to be like, you know.
And again, it's so funny. People think, they actually say that GPS proves the spherical Earth. But I don't think people understand that GPS is a man-made system, just like lines of latitude and longitude, and it can easily be used to tell you whatever it wanted to tell you. It'd be the same thing if they map GPS onto a pyramid Earth. Then it would be the same argument that we could say, well, we don't live on a pyramid, and people could say, yeah, but GPS proves we live on a pyramid. Well, clearly it doesn't, and they can't get away with that because, well, there's no edges of a pyramid. You would obviously see those, but they can get away with telling you that the Earth is so big and it curves, just you can't measure it and never see it.
Yeah, and in fact, the thing is that what can we use in terms of nature tools to, you know, trying to analyze or understand the world that we live in without those indirect layers of creating system upon the system upon the system, where you have all the time to manipulate, and you know, and compass of course is something that is artificial, but at least is a way to interact the most direct way with nature forces. That's is the way I like to see it.
Absolutely.
Instead instead the GPS, which is something completely artificial. You know.
All right, we'll continue. When you move in a straight line, you will encounter Antarctica. I think maybe I missed the line before that. Yeah, from east to west, you'll notice it revolves in relation to that center. When you move away in a straight line, you will encounter Antarctica. And we talked about this yesterday. We were showing that, again, the difference between east and west and north and south, especially on the so-called globe, is, south is always directly behind you if you are facing north. And we showed it yesterday that, somebody who's directly east of you if you went and stood in that person's spot, you are not directly west of them. However, if somebody is directly south of you, you are always directly north of them, if that makes any sense. No matter where you're at in the world, if somebody is standing in a certain spot and they are directly south of you, then you are directly north of them. But anywhere in the world, if they are directly east of you, you are not directly west of them. And if they are west of you, you are not directly east of them. Again, we've had to show that many times. People don't get that. People are still confused and still don't understand that east and west are circles and still argue that. And they say, oh, if you're at this high latitude and you walk in a straight line, you'll end up back where you started. Yeah, only if you turn. And again, is it such a large distance that you would never notice?
Demonstrated that on the globe, right? In the Google Earth many times.
Many times,
right?
Yeah.
When
And
you
people still don't get it, and they still argue it, and they still say east and west are not circles. And I've had people tell me it doesn't matter if you're in California and you walk directly east, that you will end up back where you started, which is only true on the equator, if you were to stand on the equator. Okay, let's continue here.
Yeah, this what I think is interesting here in the captions there. This is really key point. I don't know who would like to elaborate. Probably Bob would know a lot about this. What's the because the South Pole. How is it that the compass? What happens in so-called South Pole, but in the so-called southern edge, I don't even know how to call it anymore. But something happened to the compass, right? It's supposed to be operating just fine. So what's going on there? It's important for people to understand that we're not on a ball.
Well,
right?
that's one of the biggest things right there, Rodrigo, is that if the ball Earth, the sphere Earth, actually had two poles, the North Pole and a South Pole, and the South Pole was anywhere near any part of Antarctica in proximity, then the North Pole of the magnet itself would be drawn towards it. But the problem is that doesn't happen. So there is no definitive South Pole that can draw any side of a compass. So that right there should raise a lot of eyebrows, and that seems to just go right over people's heads like it doesn't make any difference. It's like, well, then the entire idea that Earth has this magnetic South Pole is completely out the window, because the compass is going to point towards whichever has the strongest magnetic field, right? And down in Antarctica, theoretically, the South Pole which should draw that that magnetic pole of the compass right to it. But in fact, all it does is spin around in circles.
Right, and isn't it true that
Yeah,
they probably just
in the
paint
south it don't even do that. In the south, it's completely still.
Yeah, because probably it's too far away, huh?
Could be.
Well,
when you are trying to approach north, there is where it's going to start, making crazy spins. Exactly.
Right, which is a huge argument for the idea that Mount Meru, or this magnetic mountain at the center at the North Pole, is actually the mountain. Now, a magnet cannot be a monopole device. That it just simply is not possible. So every magnet has to have a north and a south pole. So if the North Pole, which is the predominant pole that everything points to, is indeed Mount Meru, that means that the South Pole of it would likely be deep underground, because from that then you get the dielectric inertial plane. And of course, if the North and the South Poles are both in the same place essentially, except for a degree of vertical separation, then the South Pole magnetically is going to be the weaker side of the field, right? So again, the compass behavior once again promotes the idea that it is a magnetic pole at the center of the North Pole in the flat Earth map.
But referring to the work of Cami, this is the question. Like, there's a quadrupole in the center,
yes,
right? And then there will be two dipoles. So there will be two south kind of two things that would be attracting, one which is out of range, kind of.
Yes.
Another one
And she's right about that, Rodrigo. And the problem is, I'm just trying to make it simple for people to understand, that particular argument. Now, the way that Cami looks at it is correct, because when you look at the actual surveying of the magnetic field lines of the plane, right, there is no doubt that there is more than one magnetic pole, and they are interacting with each other. But frankly, you try and explain that to people, and it just overloads their brain because they have no idea how two magnetic fields in close proximity will actually manifest, right? So that's something that's a little bit more, advanced. But the 101 idea is just simply to say, well, if you look at the Mount Meru idea, then you have that single magnetic pole, which would behave in the way that I just described previously. But, there's always more to it. There's always more to this model that people don't even understand the most simplest magnetic model as it is now. So to explain to them, a multiple dipole system interacting with each other is simply just going to blow their fuse.
Yeah. Joe Mama just sent me an image of the supposed magnetic drift in the north since 1840, which is insane because it's basically moved all the way from what you would think would be the North Pole what it's moved from, I guess in 2017, it looks like we're kind of close to where the North Pole is now. But starting in 1840, it was way on the land by Canada, basically, which is just, so he's asking how did they ever sail then, if this is true, which it wouldn't make any sense if they were basically sailing magnetically towards the north in 1840 or 1850, or when they started looking at the north in 1900. You wouldn't even come close. You would end up on the land in Canada and be calling that. By the way, Iru, he also tells you to check his PayPal. Check your PayPal. Don't check his PayPal.
That is Joe Mama.
Yes, Joe Mama.
My personal bank account.
Oh, nice. Yes, he's been awesome. He was amazing to me as well. And thank you, Joe. All right, ready to continue?
For me, of course. And thank Joe.
We've got Billy Zig. Billy, we've got to have you on the show sometime. I want to talk to you about your book and let you, we'll have that soon. He said, and living in Australia, I've never seen Sigma Octantis. Yeah, I don't think that they say it's visible, right? Supposedly it's not visible. It just happens to be there, in the deep dark sky. He says there is no central spin from here in Melbourne.
Exactly. It's a constellation. And as AJC 1844 so eloquently pointed out, the Octantis constellation, actually the stars that make that up, ironically, are about 120 degrees apart, one below South America, one below Australia, and then one another 120 degrees from there, or Africa, I guess. So that's really interesting when you find that out.
Absolutely. And Karen, I just saw you posted, it looks like Brian got another strike since we've been on the show. Karen? All right. Thank you, Karen.
Brian was here for a second and then he left. I saw him coming in. And
well, Karen said that he got another strike, and then she said Dr. Kaufman got a strike. And if you haven't seen it yet, check out Marty Leeds had a nice conversation with Dr. Kaufman. But he just got a strike for impersonation, which is he's a doctor. So if you
I think Karen's back.
Karen,
Yeah,
so
sorry.
is
I was muted.
the deal that if you come on YouTube and you say anything other than what is exactly the mainstream narrative, then you get impersonation? Is that their new get out of
pretty much
free
exactly
card?
what the JP Sears video said is what they're doing. Like
Right.
he's pretty right on about it.
Yeah, I mean, and if you said, well, what am I doing wrong? Well, you're going against the community guidelines. Yeah, but what are the community guidelines? They're exactly what you went against. They're exactly what you didn't do. They're exactly, well, what is that? So, crazy. All right, let's continue on with Iru's video. Anybody comments as we go? Oh, and you said Brian got another strike since we've been on the show.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez. All right, and Austin, don't worry, we're going to watch that music video. I forgot. I see it up here in my tabs. So, the Diet Woke one. We'll watch that after we go through Iru's video. All right, let's continue. Antarctica in the flat Earth model cosmology is a continent which contains the seas and the water. I don't know if I'd necessarily call it a continent, but we get what he's saying. The four continents are in the center. Antarctica surrounds them. The waters are always on a level. Water cannot be curved like every direct observation in regard to physics of fluids. And Antarctica has a peculiarity. It is the most elevated continent. In average, compared to every other continent, it has 3,000 meters in average. So imagine that I'm sailing southwards. When I arrived in Antarctica, the compass won't point to the south pole. It goes spinning aimlessly. So that may draw some attention. But the craziest is I come sailing through the flat sea. Let's say I begin in Tierra del Fuego, Patagonia, and go towards our Argentinian Antarctica. You have a tiny little base. Let's say you go to the EEUU McMurdoch base, ours, ARG, doesn't matter which, by South Africa, Australia, or Argentina. You'll arrive to the same coastline of the same continent which surrounds. You have a few kilometers of flat land, but then Antarctica does this. It goes up, and it stays at an average at that height. So when the term ice wall is used to misinform, to relate the fact that with the Game of Thrones or even Truman Show, that arrives to a wall and then penetrates it. In fact, physically speaking, it is that. It is like a coastline, like any other area, which the water area is flat, and you begin to go inwards on that continent. And its altitude begins to increase, and then you have no way of going forward. Also, the way, and again, a good way to describe this is, I know Dave Weiss always describes it as you need to think of a large lake, and in that lake are continents and little pieces of land that you can land on. And if you go towards the out edge of that lake, you'll hit the shoreline. And the peculiar thing about Antarctica is once you get to that shoreline, there is a small ice shelf or a coastline. People want to call it the ice wall and say you can't get past it, or you can get on top of it. It's not that tall. And then once you're on top of it and you start going inland, within a few hundred miles, the altitude starts increasing rapidly and gets very, very high. And anybody who goes deep into that gets to a point where, and I've talked about it with the AR pilot, or ZQ pilot, once you get to a certain point, you have to turn around. And the reason for planes saying they have to do that is because it gets treacherous. R2D2 says the North Magnetic Pole is actually the South Magnetic Pole. The real magnetic pole is Polaris. Did you watch John Levi's video about Crater Earth? I think that's the one. So, Bob, what is your thought about that? That Polaris would be the North Pole and the South Pole would be the North Pole. Did I say that right? Okay, I think that's what he's saying. I think Bob was saying earlier that the North Pole is at the center and the South Pole would be way underground. R2D2 is saying that the North Magnetic Pole would be Polaris, and the South Pole would be the South Magnetic Pole would be the North Pole. Anyway, let's continue. He was saying temperatures go. Then you have no way of going forward. Also, the weather conditions go down to 184 degrees negative Fahrenheit and negative 256 degrees Fahrenheit, according to weather reports. Everyone that went there says what happens in Antarctica stays in Antarctica, like in Vegas. There's a lot of militarization in Antarctica. To arrive there, you have to ask for a permit. It's an absurd amount of bureaucratic paperwork, and again, to see that, you can check out Taboo Conspiracy 2's video, Antarctica's Closed. Does a great job of researching what you would actually have to do to get down there. It is prohibited to use fuel in Antarctica. We've talked about that many times. You can't even take fuel below the 60-degree south parallel line, which is insane to think about. Basically, they've given you permission to go to the shore of Antarctica and return to wherever you came from. If you started in Africa, you would have enough fuel to get to the shoreline, turn around, and come back. And no more, because you're not allowed to store fuel. So you'd think, okay, we can take a bunch of barrels of fuel and we can keep filling up and we can do this stretch around, or we can try and circumnavigate. But if you're not allowed to take extra fuel, it's not like somebody can just go down and say, we're going to ride along the shoreline or the shelf and see how far we can get. You wouldn't be allowed to do that. Why? Because you'd quickly run out of fuel. So it's prohibited to use fuel in Antarctica. The use of it is very limited, so if you had machinery even, you cannot go very far. The airplanes that can go there are only military ones. You can't go out on a one-man expedition. We've said this many times. There's lots of blogs of people saying if you're down in Antarctica, you're not allowed to go anywhere by yourself. And even if you go out with multiple people, there are certain pathways that you must stay on. You're not allowed to go off those pathways at all. You have $1 million fines if you step on a plant because it's considered protected and unique flora and fauna. Good luck finding a plant down there anyway. Not even penguins live there, so you can't arrive at any real limit because Antarctica seems to be arranged for us not to go forward or any further. It would seem that they created the world, that the created world has its own natural limits with intentions and also in regards to perforations. So as borders, you have Antarctica downwards. Only a 0.2% has been feasibly explored, maybe? What's perforated?
Yes, well, that could be a word that this guy invented. I know that we need to. I'm going maybe to upload it. Yeah, perforation. I'm going to
Make a
upload
hole
it,
in the ground. It's boring a hole.
Okay, yeah, perforated like the piece
I
of
know,
binder
and,
paper.
and in fact, something that maybe I typed, I didn't check it, but
No, it's good. I just didn't know what we were
supposedly,
getting. I got you now.
So as border, you have Antarctica, comma.
Yes.
Because I'm going to start to describe the limits,
Gotcha.
and downwards only goes 0.2% has been fillable perforated.
Like
I don't
drilled.
know that word. Didn't drilled.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Okay.
It's how deep has been bored a hole is
Gotcha.
only 0.2%. Yeah.
I'm gonna make it as a few changes and upload it again.
Of a total, and supposedly the Earth radius, which is 6,400 kilometers, and only 12 kilometers has been, dug deep or drilled. So, I mean, you drill only about 12 kilometers, but you know, what is it, 6,400 of depth? Of course not. It's a bit weird. And penetration by means of radar does not go deeper. Something about 80 to 300 kilometers, not much, practically null results. There is no empirical fact about the Earth's core. Of course, it's all made up. And upwards, it's only possible to achieve about 120 kilometers of altitude with real rocketry, because what NASA does describes only an arc trajectory which ends up falling down. Surprisingly, at the Bermuda Triangle, in the case of Cape Canaveral, and the story of the Bermuda Triangle begins, I totally agree with Eero on this. 6 months after the first launch of rocket made by NASA, suddenly, and they fall there, it appears the Bermuda Triangle stories. Nowadays, other agencies exist. They all point towards the ocean. Nowadays, photos of pieces of rocketry at the sea can be found. There's never an empirical proof of the departure towards space, that life is in space without being involved with television or Hollywood. It's always like believing in a movie. So in indirect manner, we have 120 kilometers upwards. Antarctica is the limit, and downwards in the ocean about 12 kilometers towards the Mariana Trench, and 12 kilometers with the Kola borehole. And so the volume, the depth, and the ground, it simply does not affect the Earth is any shape. And this we can...
So near our greatest challenger, Soviet Russia, but why this interest in the bottom of the world? Nobody living down there, is there?
No, it's pretty cold. It's by far the most valuable, important place left in the world because it happens to be an untouched reservoir of natural resources. And, as the world shrinks with an ever-increasing acceleration, far-flung places once useless, like we thought the North Pole was, and no man's land, become very useful. The bottom of the world will be important, not only to us, but to our allies. Now, by far the coldest spot in the world, where that cold is, gets 100 below zero in the winter.
Well,
it was once tropical. So we think there's oil there, and there's evidence, probably uranium there.
Well, Bert, may I ask you, is there a great difference between the top of the world and the bottom of the world?
There is. Now, the North Pole is the center of an ocean 10,000 feet deep. The South Pole, the center of a plateau, 10,000 feet high. The North Polar Sea is surrounded by continents that are slightly frozen. The Antarctic continent is surrounded by a belt of ice, frozen seas of at least 1,200 miles thick. Now, the south is a plateau. It gets, in some places, 14,000 feet up. I've been over areas about 13,000, and it's a little bit chilly up there. So there's that big difference between the top and bottom of the world. The North really isn't very cold up there on the Arctic Ocean.
Bueno, me parece que es interesante.
And again, when you really think about the azimuthal equidistant map and you think about the seasons as described in a flat plane with the sun circling, all of it makes sense. Why you would have an ocean at the north and have a frozen tundra at the south. If the Earth is as described spherical, flying through space with this tilt, then the North and South Pole would effectively be almost identical, especially over long periods of time, and which is something they definitely say is the case. So it wouldn't be the case that in the South you have this frozen tundra, and in the North, I mean, think about it. They say, oh, well, in the South we get this 24-hour sun. The sun just circles above. Well, if the sun just circled above the South Pole for 24 hours a day for the entire southern winter, then it would be melted. It wouldn't be a frozen tundra. Fepe the Penguin says, shout out to Ace McLeod. All right, thank you for the super chat. So he starts out, well, I think it's interesting. Did I miss any part? Hold on, let me go back. Yeah. Iru, who is this person?
The guy who's gonna talk is a friend of mine, which is a sociologist.
Sociologist, okay. He says, well, I think it's interesting to analyze this new movement. It may not be that new, but yes, we can say it has a lot of repercussions today, not only in the new media, but also in civil society. From the point of the view of social sciences, which I think there always have been historically underestimated, above all by our cousins from the exact sciences, or those who have more in common with nature or physics. In my case, I am a graduate in sociology, and I think that unlike the more hard sciences, what the social sciences have is that they allow a more integral approach to a social phenomenon. A specialist can know a lot of a narrow viewpoint, and many times in issues that demand multi-casual or multifocal analysis, maybe the specialist stays too tied to his field of knowledge and cannot zoom out to a broader view. We've said this a million times. Somebody like Neil deGrasse Tyson, who has done all these years of schooling and reading from books and being told those books are the Bible, and basically he gets good grades and advances for his memorization and repeating of those documents. Again, go look up how many scientific papers the almighty scientist Neil deGrasse Tyson has submitted, and I believe the answer is 1, and the reason he's submitted 1 is because that's required to be called an astrophysicist. But he's only submitted 1 paper. After that, everything else is just popularizing, repeating, and regurgitating what he was taught. And again, when a specialist like that, he's too tied to his field of knowledge, just like we all laugh at when he was sitting in front of Joe Rogan and was asked if he knew the curve formula for the Earth. And he had no idea what you were even talking about. Why? Because somebody that far along has never thought about the curvature of the Earth. It's a foregone conclusion when you enter astrophysics that the Earth is a ball and that it cannot be questioned, which is the whole point of this video if you think about the beginning. So I think that it's very important the role that social sciences can play in this case, because as I said, they permit an analysis from a historical point of view, sociological, cultural, philosophical, whatnot. So I think it has to play an important role in this case, and I have no doubt that it will move the grounds of analysis here in a medium and near future. Iru, excellent start. I can't wait to see the rest.
Well, thank you, man. I really start notice that some of the parts in English is gonna be at least I going to correct. And also, I really like your voice, so maybe I going to contract you to put the voice over, man. Just just read at once, and then I take care about putting on top, because I know there is. Maybe knowing to start reading and lose the attention to images and the videos itself. So I'm gonna maybe, correct the subtitles. I'm gonna keep the subtitles, but also maybe you can read it. It's only 10 minutes. How much it's gonna cost to a friend like me?
You're free for you. You don't have to pay me for that.
Thank you.
No, I think it's great, and I think you can find better voices than mine for sure. But
I like yours.
you have problems.
And the people feel.
I'm told
feel-
that people
feel
fall
good with your
asleep.
voice.
People say they fall asleep to my voice. I doubt that's what you need for your documentary.
Well,
But-
let me think again.
Yeah, think about it. Think about it for sure. All right. So, okay, Austin, are you there? Austin wanted us to play this song. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I would just to say something. Sorry to cut in. Just to say something about what Rafa was saying there. Right. This is what is going on, and I think there's been people looking at space people and space, but the history has to be tackled straight on, and there's a need for people who I think know about social research to spread the ideas as well. Some of what I call analytical tools, which is what we would call it in the field, to different ways of analyzing stuff, and then a way of analyzing, a method of analyzing things in order to really make strong cases from what we already done. It's
You was the
it's
first,
all
man.
done. Sorry?
You was one of the first to do that type of analysis.
You mean me? You saying?
Yeah. With that, the first video you present us, the anthropology video, approaching the new movement in 21st century about the flat Earth.
Right. Yeah, that was the idea, is to actually bring it into that kind of discourse. And yeah, that's right. That's what I've been trying to do. And
in fact, because Rodrigo mentioned the name Rafa. Rafael is the name of the sociologist, and he started approaching the flat Earth. Of course, he is a flat earther right now, but because he saw your presentation.
Right. Yeah. We talked to him. Yeah. It's great. No, that's great that something came out of it, and there's more to be coming out. This is what I've been trying to focus on. We have so much material, and I think what I've been trying to organize with the people that I've been, people that have been coming to my channel and talking to me, and anybody out there really, to organize a way of looking into data, like all the videos that Ido has produced, Jaren and many others. For instance, that database that Alex has kept, that massive database, right? There's a need to tackle particulars from that and make analysis, digestive. Imagine if you get 10 people and each of them go to 10 different channels and they look for a specific theme, and they cut clips from that and they share those clips in a way that's organizable, archivable in a database that's searchable. Then you have all the different arguments collected in pieces of evidence, and that is something that you could for analysis.
Wow.
For people who are willing to study this, it would be very helpful. And I just yesterday on my stream, I was just looking at some stuff, looking at this astrophysicist who wrote this thing about, I think it's crazy. Like, this guy wrote this thing saying that we can move the solar system. It was like the most ridiculous thing. He got it peer reviewed and published.
I know. I saw that.
And I kind of downloaded the paper to take a look at the paper, right? I was like, okay, let's take a look at this paper, and started reading it. I was like, oh my goodness. And then in the references, they had a Carl Sagan paper from 1961, which is talking about contact with extraterrestrials, and is funded by NASA. And I was like, okay, I didn't know about this. So that's the kind of thing, like anywhere you go, you find these kind of rabbit holes. And to read and analyze that Carl Sagan piece, it's a large piece. It takes some effort. So I don't know. My role, my interest has been really in the research of the transformation, all kinds of questions that are highlighted in that first documentary thing that I did. But, it's being carried forward to a point now after, how many conversations we had, over 42 on this one, and Globus and all that. There's just so much stuff that is
that's the hard part on
people. Yeah, people are needed. You know what I'm saying? To take a look at these things if they really need to help, if they really need to make a difference. Nobody can do it alone. We all have to kind of work together in whatever we can do, But there's need for others, people like Rafael, like Ido said. It'd be interesting to get back to see where he's at right now and see what's going on. because it's been a while. I think when we talked, it was like 2 years ago. So, you know, that's the kind of thing that I believe is very important, which is kind of like basically ignoring all the trolling, all the censorship, and then just doing the work and getting it out there, whatever it is. If it's websites, if it's writing, I think is important. So, yeah. Yeah, that's what I think about this. So.
No, that's okay. No, and well, you know, I am not a guy of letters or writing, so I am more a guy of filming and doing video. So that's it's why I start doing that series. There is 10 chapter. Start with Flat Earth and finish with Flat Earth, but in the middle, the idea is to wake up people to this new world order. And of course, the main topic or the center topic is Flat Earth, because for me it's the most important thing of all. And the other are just branches that, of course, that are important too. But you know, the ultimate goal is trying to understand what we are, you know, what we do here, why we are here, where we are exactly, you know, things like that. But I hope.
And that's why it's impossible to stay on one thing, right? One thing leads to another. It's really hard to stay on one subject, but there's just so much out there. And I think that it could happen that people come together, but there needs to be some sort of way of organizing, you know, that I don't know if we're there yet. I think I think that censorship may be drawing us in that direction, you know, for more collaborative. And the thing that's happening, Bob mentioned, like people coming in with longer projects for dealing with not misrepresenting people, which is what I hope, which I always hoped. And yeah, I think, you know, like Rafa was suggesting, if you just look into some social science, anything I can pull off from my bag of stuff that I've been reading for 20 years, you know, I can connect to these issues too, because we've been talking about social control and you know, colonialism in general for so long, right? So there's a lot there that can be helpful to kind of, in a way, get the discourse to a level that it would be, I don't know, it would be kind of matching, you know, their bullshit, especially in astronomy and whatever exo bullshit that they have, all these exo stuff, that needs to be analyzed to shit, you know, brought to expose completely in its full glory. You know what I'm saying? Because that would be just a knockout blow, in my opinion. But and that you can make many videos out of. That's the thing when you collaborate. So for instance, Iro really has huge database of information. You can demonstrate many times over, just like Jaron with his stuff, many things that we say. But if you get these two things at the same time, where you have writings that inspire videos and videos that inspire writings, the cycle is, you have this I think is a very productive cycle of media that historicizes things in a way that with the writing, I think, with the print, especially with print, if you can get things in print, because it really stamps time and place as an artifact that comes out, and it is something to be referred to. You know, it will be there in the future. If the internet falls down, you know, what are we gonna? How can we retrieve?
Or get controlled at the top level? Because maybe the internet is not going to disappear, but maybe it's gonna, you know, take so much control that it doesn't matter if it exists or not. You are not going to find any alternative information.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and writing is the kind of thing that when you get a book that all of us probably, you know, identify with books that were important for us, and you can go through it quite fast, and it's meditative in the way that you take it at your own pace. There's these differences about reading media, right, that are good as well, and the way you can spread them without having to deal with technology, especially the print media. But, you know, it's not for everybody. That's the kind of thing because I like to do that, and I'm going to be doing this. You know, it's yeah, it's how I can help, at least.
Ira, what is this article you sent me? Oh boy. Was this Iro who sent it? Sorry.
It's something that for me it's that article was published just 4 hours ago. It's from a very well-known digital portal of Spanish company. And the ridiculous thing is, I don't know if they are boring about this quarantine, because you cannot invent this type of stories, for just entertainment. And nobody can believe that this is real. I mean, for me, it's a really, really something that is impossible to be real. But if you read it, it's a very short one.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. I mean,
so it says a couple of flat earthers who wanted to find the end of the world were rescued at sea. Both had to spend 15 days in quarantine by the coronavirus, but tried to escape. An Italian couple was willing to go to the end of the world to prove their theory that the Earth is flat. Therefore, in the month of April, when Italy was in full quarantine due to the coronavirus pandemic, both decided to skip isolation and set sail for the island of Lampedusa in a boat. However, this couple from Venice got lost in the Mediterranean and ended up near Ustica, north of Palermo. Fortunately, they were able to be rescued by the health worker at the service of the Italian Ministry of Health, Salvatore Zecchini. The funny thing about the subject is that they used a compass which works according to the magnetism of the Earth, a concept that as flat earthers they should reject. We reject compasses. The health worker told the Italian newspaper La Stampa, when the woman and man returned to the mainland, they had to spend 2 weeks in mandatory quarantine in the port of Palermo.
Come on, man.
However, the flat earthers tried to escape.
What? We are terrorists.
Although they did not succeed because they could not maneuver their boat and were again helped by the Coast Guard. A few days later, they tried to escape again and ended up in the home of a mythomaniac who claimed to have coronavirus, although fortunately it was not, explains Zecchini. When mobility restrictions were lifted in Italy, the flat earther couple were able to return to Venice. This is the dumbest story I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's a fake news, man. But
oh boy,
the article is written in the standard newspaper, digital newspaper. It's not like those type of sites where people just wrote articles making jokes.
That was hysterical, dude. For being honest, that was pretty hilarious.
Yeah, nobody gives names. This is the couple of that, but. Everything is just for saying that even the flat earthers need to make quarantine, or what? I don't understand the bottom line of this.
The whole thing is so funny.
It's making it look stupid because it says they got in a boat and they got lost in the freaking Mediterranean. Like they didn't even get out the Mediterranean, and they're trying to go to the end of the earth.
Over and over, they just keep getting lost. It's like a movie or something. It's so funny.
Talking about fake news, yeah.
Fake news for sure. This one says Galileo was
the
the one
most
who said...
important thing is that we reject compass because we are flat earthers,
Right. I refuse.
I spent some time in the east part of Italy once, and from there they would say it's in the Ascoli Piceno region. There's this little town called San Benedetto del Tronto, and it's a beach town. And there they say you can see Croatia. So how do you get lost, going down from Venice? Because Venice is just north from there. You can see the other side. I mean, to get to Palermo, I don't know. It's just totally ridiculous, this story. But that's interesting, too, that you can actually see Croatia from Italy.
The one I like, whenever anybody says this, Galileo was the one who said the Earth is round because I see its shadow on the moon, which was not Galileo. But anyway, the point of that, when people say that, they think that the shadow of the moon phases as the Earth. Did you know that? Most people do.
Right. Some people do that. Some people think that, yeah.
It's not some, it's a majority. I mean, if you went out and asked people on the street, what makes the phases of the moon, they would say the shadow of the Earth. The sun is going behind the Earth and causing the shadow, and that's why we can't see part of the moon.
Wow.
But anyway.
That's not even correct in there. Yeah, they don't even know what they're, who knows?
They don't know their model. Again, we talked about it yesterday, too. It's so funny. I mean, if you ever try and tell a globe earther that the sun is closer to us during the winter, they'll lose their mind. No, it's not what the model is. Like, yes, it is. That's their model. They don't get it. We did get another super chat from Cynical Skeptic who said something very interesting. He says the majority average of our collective consciousness makes our reality. Hashtag no shape earth. Anyone here believe that? I've heard many people espouse this before, and I've talked about it. Does our collective consciousness change reality to the point where, because a majority of the world believes the Earth is a sphere, and they believe Mars is a planet, and they believe Jupiter is a planet, that's what makes those things exist? Comments?
I don't
No
think
comment,
so.
man.
I don't. I don't think so. Well, first of all, in my opinion, you have to go down to the idea of collective consciousness itself and understand how that doesn't work. And from then on, you just kind of give up on that. That'll be my way of doing it. There's so many ways in which that doesn't work, but I'm not going to get into it now. but yeah, that's just for me. I don't think that happens. Otherwise, it's kind of we've been through some of this, but there is, obviously the way you feel and what you believe will affect. There's attraction going on. There's other things that are happening that they're not so simple, and also perceptions. And this is the key. The mind being an organ that can make you see things. The perception categories that you incorporate make you have that impression. You believe reality is something that it's just a story you haven't checked. It's a story that it's just so story that, when you were a kid, you could just remember you're asking why so many whys and whys, and your parents just didn't have the answers, and you just have to live with whatever you have. And that becomes a routine, and over 20-30 years you have no idea how you got your beliefs in your mind, unless you go through some sort of meditative practice, going back to it and undoing it and so on. Yeah.
Does anyone even think, again, I'm asking because I have an answer, obviously, what I think, but I mean, if we're to believe in this collective consciousness, or that people can change reality with their mind or can affect physical items, I mean, do you think it's possible for anyone in the world to make a plate crack, to bend a fork, to move something across a table? I would like to know your guys' opinion of that. Is that possible? Is there
Telekinesis, they call it?
Well, I guess it's more different than... Is that telekinesis, when you can make something move?
Yeah, that's the moving of something from the distance, right? Tele from distance, and kinesis is like cinema. It's the same root from Greek, so it's moving.
So do you believe that is possible anywhere?
Well, there was this Brazilian guy that could claim. They claimed that he speak this word "ha" and whatever. It's Terry Morton, whatever guy, that he could revive birds and animals. There's all kinds of claims. I don't know, man.
I don't know about reviving animals, but there's a channel that I watch. His name's it's Trebor7, but it's Robert backwards. And it's a telekinesis channel, and he does a bunch of videos. He even shows his fails, and he also shows videos from other people, like students that take his free courses, because he teaches people how to do it for free. And they'll even move objects that are inside of plastic containers. It's interesting. I mean, of course,
magnetism
faked. It could all be faked.
That's
I'm
always
not
the problem with
say
it.
that it's not possible, but if you watch him and you listen to him, it's very compelling. And I've actually emailed back and forth with him, because I talked with him a little bit when I was researching that stuff a while back, and he's a really nice guy. But yeah, it's interesting.
Well, we know that if you talk to plants, you make them grow larger, right? That's the other thing. There's these energetic exchanges, right? You talked about, Karen, about the heart being like this torsion field, and it's like a rope and everything, and how that works, and how every being has that, right, in the animal communication. So these things are I think they're real, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so do I, and that's where I wonder where you draw the line, because I've never seen, and I'd have to watch that guy's channel, but I've never quite gone as far as to say people can move physical objects, but it's just because I haven't seen it. Again,
he does this one demonstration that I really like. He calls it chi bowling, where he has a set of a group of cards that he makes stand up at the end of the table, and he just bends them a little bit so they're standing on end, and he brings up a chi ball, and then he bowls it across the table like a bowling ball, and he knocks the cards over. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And he does it with a mask on too, so that like people can't say that he's blowing the cards over. And it is, you know, a long table that he's doing it at.
And it's Robert backwards in 7.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll check it out.
And his icon is like, it's the flower of life. And he's a flat earther. He doesn't really talk about it on his channel, but he knows what's up.
R2D2 sent another super chat. Says, Jaron, please comment on John Levi's Crater Earth video. Yeah, we kind of talked about it earlier. I mean, it's a tough one. I don't know how we can prove that. I mean, I think Karen said it best. When you're talking about the celestial, I don't know what the celestial items are. And so what is the claim is that it's some sort of reflective mirror of the Earth?
Yeah, something like that. And it'd be like, I guess they focus on some craters that have rims, or so-called craters. Like we know they're not craters, but whatever they are, we don't know what they are.
Didn't we look at that in the past and we saw that like it's inverted, right, in some areas but not in others?
That happens as well. That's the Dave Marsh's work that he's been looking at. That's really bizarre. How it looks embossed or something. Yeah. It looks like there's
crazy.
It's weird.
The
yeah.
best one I saw was that one that Iru shared. Actually, Iru, you know what I'm talking about? It was
but
like
that's
an
not the one that
Instagram-
we're talking about with John Levi. Then I need to watch
No,
it.
well, this is different. John Levi is different. The one I'm talking about is like as far as talking about the reflection.
That's
of
the one I'm talking about. So that's why I thought maybe I'm discussing the wrong one. I'll have to watch the John Levi one and talk about it.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet either, so I don't know what version he's talking about. But I know the one that Iru shared a link to one time. It was a few months back. It was really cool.
That's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The one where you could it actually
that's
pointed
a map
out
on the moon?
Yeah, it pointed out where New York is and where LA was, and but the whole thing seemed a little bit off to me because it was inverted, but north was still north and south was still. It just didn't make sense. Didn't quite work out. I saw the areas they were pointing to, and some of them were a little bit of a stretch. But I'll check out John Levi's video. I have a note here to do so. Zaylor Raiden, thank you for the super chat. He says, from a biblical standpoint, the Creator breathed His spirits into man, His being plural. We all have our own souls, but share one spirit. Okay. Yeah, a lot of people believe that. That Flat Fellow, thank you for the super chat. Fezuic Film says, we need to get serious and make crowdfund to hire a lawyer and sue NASA and its moon landing for fraud, embezzlement. It's not far-fetched. Thoughts?
I don't think it is far-fetched at all. I think it's a open and shut case. It'd be so easy to prove that they're being faking. Anybody can do it. And we collected, some of the people around the panel here collected so much stuff. I mean, they have no chance. They have no chance if that happens.
Talk to Taboo. I mean, again, to me, it's just they're not going to admit it. It's too important to this country. It's too important to the belief in American superiority. It's very much important to the American spirit. I mean, they've used that, and they still use it to this day. It's so important to them. And I think they do it in a way where, I don't know if you could really prove damages. Again, even if you look at how much money they would owe every person, I don't think it's a terrible amount. I mean, if you look at space spending, but again, you have to prove financial loss, don't you?
Well, all the money that goes into it. I mean, how much is it? You know the budget better than anyone.
Yeah, I think $22 billion, $22 billion a year. Let me look that up real quick. That's 22 billion.
If you make the calculation back to when they started, it being all a fraud, all the money they funneled in. I mean,
it's so funny. I just
reset
looked up
the universe.
I just looked
If
up
you do
22.
that,
you
reset the universe.
$22 billion divided by 330 million people. So if you're just looking at NASA, how much their budget is divided by all the people, it's 66.666. So it's $66 a person. So that's not a way to look at it. I mean, it's $66 a person a year. And even if we say, oh, they've been spending that much for 50 years, which is not true because they've been spending a lot less every year in the past, right? It's only
Right.
only 22 billion this year, but let's say that we said it is 22 billion every year for the past 50 years, and you multiply that by 50, then they owe each person $3,000. So
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, you don't have to divide that between each person. You can get all that chunk of money and say you're going to put into education in some sort of way. I don't know. You can put it to something else that people can benefit from. I have no idea. Something better than what they do. That would not be so hard. You know, undoing what they did, at least, you know, an education program to undo all the trash. That would be good use of that money.
yeah, I wonder how they'll ever admit that. That's why I think something else is coming. That's why I think that,
You mean with Space Force or something like this? Or?
no, just I mean, you know, when I've talked before about some sort of reset event or something, it seems like they're able to keep kicking this out because I don't know. I mean, if they know they're never going, then they must have some sort of end game, and that end game might be something that's kind of a reset where we all forget about it or something. I don't know. Just a
The Great Reset?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what it would be, but I don't know if it's a financial one or if it's a. I mean, if the finances of the United States crashed and crumbled, well, then NASA would never be required to finish off anything that it's so-called doing, right?
The dollar is down now. You know this, right? It went down. People in Brazil are celebrating. It's like, because for us, it's terrible that how much the dollar went up, because I think it went double what it used to be. And now it's going down in the last few days.
Well, we were talking about it yesterday. I mean, it's pretty crazy when you think about what they could do with food and how, you know, I was watching Ice Age Farmer talk about it. I mean, they planned something. I mean, you know, the Soros-funded group and John Podesta had this simulation 5 years ago for a food shortage in 2020.
No way.
Yeah. So, I mean, when you see, again, and then what is coming, I mean, when we saw what happened with stupid toilet paper, in the United States, I mean, it was just ridiculous. I mean, if something like that happened with food, and the sad thing is a lot of us have done smart things about, we have a garden, right? But like I asked Dave Weiss yesterday, who has a garden, or, you know, I might have a garden. When we really look at it and you say, okay, let's say the food industry goes down, or the ability to get food into stores, and all of a sudden we're in trouble. I mean, how long would your garden last? I mean, mine would last
Not very long.
2 weeks.
Not very.
Yeah,
not very long.
I mean, I'd be out of cucumbers and tomatoes in 2 weeks. So
you need quite a cooperative to keep things. You can have a communal garden where it's just for doing intensive agriculture. That
Right.
can happen without any control from companies. But people have to organize to get that done. Doing your own garden in your backyard is probably not going to cut it.
No, not in a kind of massive food shortage. Now, I don't know if that's coming. I mean, I'm just saying a lot of people are saying that something is happening like that, or something like that is on the way. And again, I used to say, oh, no, I'm not a doom and gloom. But, I mean, they've got the whole world wearing masks at this point, which is just ridiculous. So, and, you know, it's like they're already – it kind of reminds me of the Depression, or some kind of situation like a Hunger Games situation. Think about the way your store looks now. Everybody wearing masks, everybody standing 6 feet apart. It's as if they're prepping for something. Just saying, it's as if. It doesn't mean that's what's happening. Rhino sent a super chat. It says, Eero rules. Eero. Getting a lot of love today.
Thank you, man.
And as far as a, you know, court case or some sort of, you know, crowdfund to hire a lawyer, we have Taboo. We have Ben.
Yeah.
So let's talk with Ben and see what he thinks. I mean, he might have an idea of something that you could point out or say or do. But again, the problem always becomes their word against yours, right? I mean, we go to court and say, well, we don't think they're in space, and they say, here's evidence of us in space, here's spacewalks. I mean, what are you going to do? There is no independent. It's not like another case where you can say, I think this company's frauding me, and then there's some evidence that there's fraud, and then you can have some investigation into that company to see whether or not it's a fraud. Well, what are you going to do? Send some police officers to space to verify that they're there?
And you think, guys, that maybe NASA is going to use the tactic of the 9/11? You know, maybe someday, like Chernobyl or something like that, maybe someday they're going to, you know, make some type of disaster that justify the close of NASA.
Yeah,
You know, because
well, I think so. Yeah.
what they are going to do, they are going to keep going and going, you know, making promises about where they're going to
Yeah, I saw a story about how in the ISS there's been a leak for I don't know how long, and
Yeah,
they
I saw
weren't
that.
able to find it. And yeah, I mean, like you're saying, if they wanted to do something like this, the ISS would be what to explode. Right?
Yeah, but could be much more easy than that, because, for example, I just going to drop some ideas, but maybe if you, for example, kill a few hundred of operators in some type of explosion of some type of warehouse, you don't need even to destroy the supposedly ISS. You just can say, well, we're going to close the program so all the astronauts that are in the ISS come down to the ground. We're going to leave the spaceship there, just, whatever. But I just, dropped this idea because I don't know where they're going to stop lying and getting money from the taxpayer, I mean.
Well, sorry, I'm eating some. But, Eero, do you think there's a chance that they could push it out far enough that the CGI work starts to be...
Oh, that's completely agree, yeah.
Yeah. I mean...
And that is something dangerous for us, because
if
I
they
know
push
that
it out 20 years, if they push it out 30 years, just think about if they're already telling people right now, oh, we'll be able to go to Mars in the 2030s. But with the way they push everything out, if that's moved to the 2050s, 2060s, all of a sudden, would CGI, would AI be indistinguishable really from reality? And at which point maybe that's what they're pushing out for, is the fact that they can't fake the moon like they need to now. Now maybe in 1970 they thought by 1990 they'd be able to fake the moon again. And then they got to 90 and they said, oh, it's still not indistinguishable from reality enough, we have to push it out. 2000, now we have to push it out. 2010, now we have to push it out. 2020. And you keep pushing it out until, which is kind of inevitable. I mean, I don't think it'll ever be exactly like reality, but already, I mean, you can't tell the difference in some of these TV shows. I mean, there's nobody who can sit there and say, oh, this TV show is filmed on location, or this TV show is filmed on a green screen. It's indistinguishable.
Yeah, no, the thing is that for me, the CGI thing is a reality. I mean, I know David Wise, he spent a lot of money doing that fake ISS green screen, but the reality is that for me, which I am a guy from the computer animation industry, I am not a super expert, but I am, I work with that. I make on my daily basis research because I like to be at the verge of the most new techniques and things like that. But when I sometimes when I see the ISS, they make, they are not so bad faking the space, particularly with liquids and tiny details. They screw up when the astronaut is involved, not the object. What I'm trying to say. I mean, when the astronaut trying to make those acrobatic movement, things like that, especially in the past, you can see the trick. You can see the cables that was, erased in post-production or just painting in green or things like that. But if you start to compare, the ISS from the 2010, 2013, and to our days, they really get better. Right. They really get better. And that is something to take into account, because if you extrapolate that between now and maybe 15 years in the future, of course, with the help of AI and all the computer graphic industry, could be indistinguishable.
Yeah, especially, I mean, remember we did the green screen technology show on my channel, Eero?
Yes, from Octane Render. Yes.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah, and that's that's a consumer level product. Yes. And that includes shadows, and that includes
reflections.
Unbelievable.
Objects, interactions, and all they need is just maybe 2 more generation to brainwash. Trying to erase the moon landing in the past, with music clips and with new TV series, with new movies, trying to imprint that new, quote unquote, new moon landing into the brain of the new generations. And suddenly, you are not going to have any more records from the past, because even those records is going to be restored, trying to present more quality to the people. We have this HD restore, HDDDD restore, thinking 20 years in the future. So they have the tools to make that happen.
Yeah, interesting. Very interesting. All right, well, we wanted to watch this. Is Austin still here? I know he said he had to leave.
Yeah, what's up, bro?
How's it going, Austin? All right, I didn't know you have a little sister. How old is she? Is she awake to the deceptions of this world? Partially.
Yeah, that's a good answer. Partially. She goes to school in Knoxville.
Oh no, not public education. Don't do it. Oh, okay. Austin brought this song to our attention. I have not seen it. Oh, it's from a ways ago. No.
Yeah,
all right,
I've never seen it. It's pretty awesome.
I've never seen it either. Let's see. It's called. No, I forgot the name of it. Steve Grant, Diet Woke. Enjoy.
I know lots of things.
Yeah. Yeah. I do not care about your raps, I do not care about this track, I do not care, I guess I am rare, yes, I hear the trash, take it out back, oh you can't hear it, you must have your ear to the cash, I'm itching a spaz, I do not hack, but yes, I'm still with the mask, snatch a beat right out the mainstream real quick, fuck around, yeah, we gon' remix it, we got you spinning, and now you dizzy, you looking like Disney, seeing sixes, all these agendas, and all these false flags, how many times till it gets familiar, they've multiplied so many times, they form in a line to normalize the pedophilia. Half of these rappers, yeah, this shit getting handled. They're gone, with one snap of my finger, yeah, Thanos. Yeah, I see your ice, your shit be shining, but how many of those innocent African children had to die for those diamonds, huh? Tell me. They wonder why they be living all so divided, with all those rooms in that big-ass mansion with the homeless family sitting right outside it. 1,000 bodies died for that outfit, and you ain't cleaning the blood off it. Your favorite celebrities got blood on their hands, Marina Abramovic. Hillary Clinton, she's gon' send out a hit if you leaking those documents. If you a holistic doctor, they gon' pop your Tasha secretly off a bridge. Exposing them, smash the internet, cause we don't fuck with no fake shit. Nah, NASA images, yeah, thanking your highnesses, for paying the scientists. Yeah, you kneel for the anthem, huh? But you still play for the Zionists. Damn, yeah, they trying us. They splash subliminals. The Super Bowl, the halftime show. No, that's a ritual. Global warming, climate change. Next year will be a new name with a new tax and a new op and a new fear for a flu strain. Oxitex, the new Dr. Moreau, and they teamed up with the synagogue of Satan. Yes.
Did he say a new fear for a new flu strain?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, dude, he goes, it's super awesome.
By the way, this video is from June 30th, 2019. So, well before your very deadly watch out, kill your grandma virus.
Climate change, next year will be a new name with a new tax and a new op and a new fear for a flu strain. Oxitex, the new Dr. Moreau, and they teamed up with the synagogue of Satan. Yeah, I see what you be doing, Q, but I still don't trust the administration. Nope. They drinking adrenochrome straight from a child's throat. You sitting down with that vegan meal, but you still drinking a Diet Woke. Lady Liberty screaming, covered up in that black burqa. They looking at me like I'm the devil, but I don't see him though. Matt Murdock, all these dark occultists and globalists, the ones causing a mass murder. They try to swerve at me, throw the curve at me. So I had to flat earth them. Listen, boy, I don't care what you say and all the bullshit that he said, she said. All I care is about you waking up. If you don't, you gon' get her, him, you need that. Let the 5G spread, and you gon' see there's a bunch of pissed off and stressed Americans. Say hi to my friends, they're all domestic terrorists.
Steve Grant, where is this guy?
Whoa.
I want to hear some more.
Wasn't that awesome? How have I never heard that?
Wow,
you nailed it, man. Fuck's sake.
Nice. All right,
Telling
everyone.
you, man.
Link will be in the description. Steve Grant, Diet Woke. Find it on his channel, which is Steve Grant. Let me see, has he done anything else recently? That's the last upload. Wow. Don't know where he went. He has a video from a year ago, Stop 5G Florida. Anyway, check him out if you want. And yeah, I'd never heard that before.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. He threw flat in there a couple times, you know, referenced NASA images and said I had a flat Earth. I mean, that was pretty crazy that you haven't heard of it. I mean, self-evident why. Obviously it's not being promoted.
Right. No, I don't think so.
How'd you find out about it, Austin?
Jose Meza sent me from 24/7 Flat Earth Discord. Yeah, he sent me. I was like, wow, I can't believe I haven't heard of this.
Have you heard a lot of Flat Earth music?
There isn't a ton.
There isn't a ton. God, have you heard the one by Chris Smiley? You've heard that one.
Maybe. I just have to hear them.
I gotta bring it up then.
I've heard a few.
I believe that's his name. I hope that's his channel. It's my favorite. When you're talking Flat Earth songs. Chris Smiley, not Smiley, Darren. There's a couple good ones out there. Chris Smiley, is it this one? No, it can't be. Is Karen still here?
Yes.
Is it Chris Smiley? Who's the guy that did the live performance in Denver on stage? The rap song. Smiley Chris? I can't remember his name.
Oh my gosh, I don't remember.
Oh boy. Maybe I gotta check the chat in a second. Somebody will help me out. Here he is, Smiley Chris Raps. Here we go.
There you go.
And I gotta find his song.
What do you think about? Well, I don't want to change.
No, go ahead. Talk about whatever.
Topic.
I
No,
gotta look for
this
anyway.
Neuralink thing with the pig.
The Neuralink.
The Neuralink, yes.
Oh yeah, Elon put the
they-
chip in the pig's brain or something.
And what happened?
Yeah. Clown world. I don't know. It shows you a pig.
Type it on
It
Google.
just shows you a
and
pig.
take a
That's
look.
all that happened.
Oh shit! I didn't know this.
Here, bring it
No,
up.
it just looks like a pig to me.
Can you show it, Eero,
No.
while I look for this song? Hold on, or give me a second. I'll look for this, and then we'll look
Okay,
at that.
no, take your time, man. It's your show.
I'm not
But-
saying that I don't think you could put a chip in a pig's brain. I mean, it's obviously something you could do.
Yeah, they
No, of
do it in
course,
different
but you
animals
don't have
already.
any. Yeah, but if you saw that, you don't see any direct confirmation of, or maybe I am so stupid that I don't understand exactly what is the advantage of that pig to have the implant. Because the only thing that they do is they show like a monitor showing heartbeat signals, and this, the monitor start beeping, beep beep, when the pigs receive food. So I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe I understand bad. Maybe in my bad, and the pig is a genius, and he formulates new equations to reach the moon.
Oh, Elon.
Yeah.
That's just
but
weird. Why? It's just weird.
It was weird, exactly. I want to see some type of animal, some kind of animal that maybe show a little more of, the process or the advantage to have that implant, because the pig, I believe the pig is gonna start talking or making, chat with people via WhatsApp. No, I don't know.
That would be wild.
But why they use a pig? Well, that is another question. Maybe did they have similar?
Must be other reasons.
They have similar DNA to humans, right?
Human, yeah. To bankers. Bankers.
Real relative to this others.
Okay, so I'm reading
Well,
it
yeah,
right here.
Clown World.
Yeah. So here's the pig. I guess Elon Musk shows off. Get this thing out of my face. What's going on here? Okay. Thank you. Shows off a working brain implant in pigs. So again, explain this to me now, Eero. I haven't.
Well, I believe I did a good explanation.
Okay, in a live
already.
streamed event that began characteristically late, Musk unveiled 3 not-so-little pigs. One that did not have an implant from his brain-computer interface company Neuralink. One that had been implanted in the past, and Gertrude, who currently has a prototype of the device. Gertrude shuffled around her pen, sniffing the ground and eating, while loud beeps and blips filled the air, and a display showed real-time spikes in her brain activity. Musk explained that Gertrude had the implant inserted in her head 2 months before, and it is connected to the neurons in her snout. This is all bullshit. Anybody who believes this is out of their mind. When she touched something with her snout, it sent out neural spikes that were detected by more than 1,000 electrodes in the implant. I mean, what do people think that it's doing? Okay, hold on.
But click play on the video.
This one here?
I don't know, maybe. I don't know. I saw the full presentation.
Yes. Do you believe it?
I don't know if
There are
that
over
one.
6,000
What?
apple varieties
And do you
to
believe
choose
it?
from.
I believe it.
Bittersweet are the gold standard.
No,
for
I am not believe anything.
Okay, thank
It came
you.
from Elon Musk, but I didn't understand.
Well, couldn't it be just sensors? They put a little device in the pig's nostrils that have sensors, and that's it.
Could be something like that. That is the live event. Everyone with mask,
Oh boy.
Yeah, for
that
brain
are the
monitoring,
pigs.
it should be just electrodes, right? They're not.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes,
on the
that
skin.
are the
There was a man who did this a very long time ago. His name was Jose Delgado, and he did it with a bull. This is a long time ago, though. It's like back in like the 60s.
But what does it prove? What good is it?
that Elon Musk is going to take a lot of money from us
Yes.
and without any proof.
Yes, that's
The
about
idea
it.
that people would be willing to put implants in their brains, unless they're kind of, blind for life, because that's kind of the excuse that they develop some of these technologies. I mean, what's the point?
The point is that supposedly, and that it's gonna be the serious part, which is going to allow people that are blind to recover the property of
How did
seeing.
you ever decide to make such a big decision as to put a chip in your brain? Well, they showed me a video of a pig.
And listen,
Well,
they
listen
to
they
the
have
sounds
like
though.
a
You can hear
special
the sounds.
robot to do the surgery things and blah blah blah.
But listen to the sounds. The beeps you're hearing are real-time signals.
They land on Mars. The Curiosity land on Mars. yeah.
The implant in the pig's brain is a prototype. Oh. Let's see. It's just
So as
what.
you can see,
What?
we have a healthy and happy pig, kind of loving life, and she's had the implant for 2 months.
Dumbass.
What?
There is no hope. There is no
Oh
hope
my
for the
goodness.
future of our generation, man.
The question is, can the Neuralink chip allow you to summon your Tesla?
Masked like idiots.
I know.
Oh my God.
Talking about implanting a chip in your brain.
And he
with
said
their-
it can summon his Tesla just by him thinking about it. Here.
And the question is, can the Neuralink chip allow you to summon your Tesla telepathically?
Definitely, of course.
That's a joke.
At least, at least the
He
pig doesn't
invented
get to wear a
in that
mask.
moment.
Oh boy.
Of course, you
The
could,
entire
Procedure.
procedure done by a robot.
you could
Think
say
it
yes
is.
to anything, and that doesn't mean it's going to happen.
No.
Can you drive your Tesla telepathically?
Yes.
Your chip. Yes, definitely.
So awesome.
All right, guys, I gotta get out of here. Don't take a chip in your brain. That's not a good decision. And everyone.
Wait, you have to tell
rally
me if
behind
you.
everyone.
You have to tell me if you've heard this song before. You haven't heard the Kyrie Irving science class rap?
No.
If you've ever been under the
Oh,
impression
man.
that we
That's one of the
actually live
best
on a
ones.
globe, you're a sucker and a pawn of the globalists
There we
looking
go.
to keep you
Oops.
living in ignorance. But don't take my word for it. Noted flat earth truther and future former Cleveland Cavaliers player Kyrie Irving is unfortunately helping to spread the
This is
conspiracy
the best rap
among our
song, I
nation's
think.
children. While speaking to NPR, middle school teacher Nick Gurl said that his students, thanks to Irving, staunchly believe that the world is flat. The educator said that he has tried to get the students to understand that the world is indeed round to no avail. The influence of Irving was just too strong.
There's this point that we all come to where you want to really question things, but in our society, you're frowned upon when you ask. You're frowned upon when you want to learn more knowledge about something that makes someone else feel uncomfortable.
Neil deGrasse can't debate these facts if he wanted to. Earth is flat and stationary, kids, that means it doesn't move. When confronted with these proofs, liars get uncomfortable. Cause it's true that the truth can make a liar lose his cool. When Kyrie Irving comes to school, science teachers run away. Flat Earth's got 200 proofs that they're afraid to debate. When he says it to their face, that their NASA pics are fake. The expressions that they make, always make my day. Go, NASA's been tricking us all. Gravity isn't a law. Ha, ha, your whole reality's flawed. Thinking you spin on a ball, but yeah, it isn't your fault. You just repeat what you're taught, repeating and teaching your students this small, and they evolve somehow out of nothing at all. Have you ever really questioned the nonsense that you were teaching, or the superstitious pseudoscience shit you're repeating? Like, we're from a big bang, our ancestors are algae, water curves to the earth thanks to the magic of gravity. lines fly in straight lines. Water lies in straight lines. Don't horizon lines form horizontal straight lines? No matter how high, there's never a curve. Observe it for yourselves. Look in the flat earth. Neil deGrasse can't debate these facts if he...
You haven't heard that one? No. Anyway.
No, I have not. No.
Oh, that's good stuff. I'll send you a link. Enjoy the rest of it.
Word.
And I think I just got a copyright for playing that song. But oh well. What are you going to do? I wanted to show it to you. Happens. All right, Austin, take it easy. Is there any Ostradamus things we need to know about? Should we be ready for anything? Do we need to be prepared for anything? Something coming? Who's going to win the presidency?
There's no way you can predict a little psyop. What's up?
Is Joe Biden going to win? What's your prediction? I want your prediction right now, 9/4/2020. Who will be president January 2021?
Trump. Blowout.
All right. You heard it here first from Nostradamus. All right, go say hi to your sister.
All right. Yeah. Peace out. Much love, guys.
Later.
Bye-bye.
So Jose Delgado used to do bowl implants, huh? And what good were these? So he could. Here's what I don't understand. So what does the pig do with the implant?
Nobody understand. Not even Elon Musk understand what he's doing.
I want to
there.
see the pig use its brain to call the Tesla over.
For example.
Yeah.
Or at least open a door.
Yeah, open a door or bring a food dish to him or fill the food dish and even I don't know what that proves.
Something special.
Yeah, this thing would
be, yeah.
It's kind of obsession with robots that people have, right? It's
and
like
AI
they want these kind of
freaking
servants, that catch their freaking shoes and bring to them. And
I always told you guys that somebody told me in the past, I don't remember who it was, but they were the smartest person I ever talked to. And this is the thing, I don't remember who it was. But they told me if you ever want to make money, you have to invent something that makes people's lives more lazy. And at first, it's like, I don't know what this guy's talking about. I don't even remember who it was. But I was like, this is ridiculous. That's not true. And then you look at life around you, and everything that's making money is because you're making people's lives more lazy. I mean, that's why Uber did so well. That's why DoorDash does so well. All these things are making people want to walk out to the curb and press a button on their phone and be picked up in a car and taken to where they want to go. People want to sit home and have food delivered to their front door. Have you seen the comedian? I don't know who the comedian is. I saw him recently. He was talking about Amazon Now. He's like, Amazon, they've been trying.
Oh, yeah, that's crazy.
It's so funny. He's like, people want Amazon now. I want it now. I want it before I think about it. I want it at the door yesterday. It's so true. It's like, when will people be happy?
Yeah, they could probably do that.
Yeah,
with
probably.
freaking Alexa already.
Yeah, it's like you're just thinking about it, or now they know, right? You bought paper towels last Thursday, and the average using of a paper towel, it's controlled, it's hooked up to the system due to the Internet of Things, and so as soon as you run out of that last paper towel, it reorders the paper towels for you. That's what people want. People want to
wasn't there an Amazon commercial, I think, that this woman gets a gift, and it's like gift for a woman that got pregnant, and she doesn't even know that she's pregnant because Amazon knows that by her changing her buying patterns, it indicates that she's probably pregnant.
Oh, I've heard of a lot of things like that. I heard of some dad who got all pissed off at Target because his 16-year-old daughter started getting coupons in the mail or something for her being pregnant and whatever. He went to Target to complain, like, what are you doing? You're trying to get my daughter pregnant. You're making her think about having a baby. She's only 16. And then it turned out a week or two later, she told her dad she was pregnant. And then he had to go down and apologize to Target. And he didn't know that basically had picked up on her search habits and figured out that she was pregnant. Billy Ziggs
also sold that information to somebody who
Correct.
Can send her the
the Pampers commercial.
message.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it wasn't like she was searching on Target. Somebody sold it to Target, basically. Her search history that she was searching, probably things like, what to do when you're pregnant or what's it going on the first month of pregnancy, whatever she searched on her internet, queued up Target somehow with information selling to send her these coupons. Billy Ziggs says, can you guys see the moon right now? I can see the sun and the moon in the sky in Australia. I'll take some footage with the P900.
Right now?
I don't think I can, but
I could see the moon right now, I think.
Let me see. Yeah, you can. The United States probably cannot, according to the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. Dave Weiss, please send me $1.
It's right here. It's right in front of me.
It looks like it's what, 3/4 full-ish?
It's coming up where I am. Or it's already up in the sky. It's like 45 degrees up in the sky.
And what, 3/4 full?
I can't see it because it's behind clouds right now.
Yeah, I have in front of me too.
Yeah, the Flat Earth map says it's over Asia, coming towards Africa.
Yeah.
Impossible to have over my house right now.
But not
Yeah,
not
it should be.
not straight above your
Should
head.
be.
45-degree angle, right? You're maybe
Oh, well,
55. Yes, not above your head. And by the way, folks, Iru is not in Argentina. Otherwise, it would be very confusing. He is in Switzerland.
Yes.
If he was in Argentina, he would not be able to see it right now. And the United States, I don't think we can see it.
Not at the moment.
According to the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app, David sent me $1. Get it on your iPhone or on your Google Play or whatever it's called. Let's see here. Did I have anything else to show? I don't remember what else I had here. Did you see it? We looked at it a little bit yesterday, but I looked into it a little bit more. This is that whole Rocket Labs thing. Did you see this, Iru? Rocket Labs launched something. Let's see here. The weird thing is I didn't know. It's weird that this says streamed live. Like I was like, is this a live stream of 13 minutes long? And it takes like almost 2 minutes for the intro. And then it gets to this launch thing. And look at this video, though. I mean, what is this supposed to be here? Like, how much of the world is this supposed to be? I mean, it's so obviously a fisheye lens, just looking at the ground and it, circulating it, making it a
It's where
circle.
we'll innovate and explore.
And then they switch, right? I mean, how are you supposed to know the difference? Is this supposed to be real? And then the next view, like, this is clearly CGI. They're going to uncover new worlds. Iru, did you know about this Rocket Lab sending its first satellite into orbit, supposedly?
No, I saw the last week Argentina pay to send a new satellite to form the unique constellations of 3 satellites, 2 from Argentina and 1 from Italy, for radar, the newest and the only radar antenna to help people to make better decisions in agriculture, which is a slogan that they use between 5 years all the time. They're gonna put a satellite to prevent flood, to prevent volcanoes, to prevent the glaciers to melt, things like that. The SAOCOM 1B, and we contract SpaceX. But this one, no.
I've never seen this channel before. This is funny because I used to do this looking at Gigapam, but this guy's channel is called Mars Anomalies and Beyond, Miniature Intelligently Made Objects Found on Mars. This is from yesterday. You ever seen this channel? Let's hear this guy.
Never.
Outcropping we're going to look at first, okay? And then there's a little part right on the
That's
right
on
hand
Earth,
side
sir.
we're going to have a look at, and
Okay.
maybe a quick couple other pieces, right?
Okay.
But just to give you an idea, now, if you were standing next to this rover, your head would probably be right around here.
Okay.
You'd be looking right at it because what's taking the photo is the mass cam, looking at its own arm and turret, right?
Okay.
So if you were to look at this, you could walk right over there. My guesstimation, it's about the size of your hand, maybe 2 of your hands put together.
But
okay. And you see what I mean. Like I said, these
I'm
objects, you guys are
doing-
going to go, oh, I recognize these. These were last year. You'd done these. Now, before I show you what I'd done in this video and how I brought out more detail,
Let's see what he's
check
got
these
here.
out, guys.
Okay, what do you
Look at
found? There's gonna be what do you got here?
He had.
And again, when I did this video
Uh-oh.
about these very objects, like I said, we
What's
have something
underneath
right
that
here.
rock? Uh-oh.
And if it's a
Oh,
rock,
it's
the
a straight.
transparent end, we have what looks like a box right here.
A box?
Underneath.
Down the rock.
Oh, under the box,
What
under
has
the rock.
What looks like a
Under the
silver
rock.
end to it. You can see a black box right here.
Black box.
2 white.
What?
feet.
No.
There's one here. and one
Why
here.
black?
What is
Why
this?
black?
What is this guy
Black
smoking?
box.
I want some.
Black box matter.
This is the new Mars weed you can get. It's really good.
Intelligently made objects found on Mars. Come on, brother.
Come on, let's believe it. I want to. Isn't life is better if we just believe this? Like, oh yeah, there's a black box. Iru, what do you think that black box is? Let's listen.
Have like a
I'm
silverish
trying to
end to
find
it.
the part which is black. I see like a white
Well,
thing and a shadow.
Just
thing,
pretend
but,
that this is
Hole
black.
under a rock.
Yeah, but pretend this is a black
on.
piece and it's got the silver end. Okay.
And again, there's
You need
transparent
too
rock.
much imagination.
Also, we have what looks, I call it the hood.
Oh, the
'Cause you
hood?
can see it right here. It goes up like this, goes around.
It's a rock,
goes back
dude.
down, and it drops down
It's
right
a
here.
complete rock.
See that right there? It just starts right here, goes up.
That's not a
goes around like this
hood.
here, goes up and over, and comes back down, right?
It's a piece of
With the-
rock.
Now, what looks like something round
No,
inside it, it's almost like a hood, right? And it has this piece here.
no.
Now, I guess some people think this is a rock because the
Yes.
way they blended it. It actually looks like, if you look at it another certain way, it kind of looks like a flat rock here.
Right.
But wait a minute. Then what's this
Not the-
piece right here
The rock.
that looks much brighter than this rock? So when I looked at it, it looked like some kind of weird hood type thing.
A hood?
Now, is it possible it is two different things? Okay, but what is this? That
Oh,
has
man.
At the very end.
This guy's
He's got a lot of time in his hands.
57.4 thousand subscribers. That's pretty good. Let's see.
I think
we got
he's
here.
on some
Oh,
hallucinogenics.
he got
Oh,
closer.
he-
Here
yeah,
we go.
he
Now we'll
makes
find a black.
also-
Can't make out at all what it is, but right here, this thing, I'm not sure what that is, but that doesn't look like a rock.
Oh, that smells
Why
really
not?
good.
Okay.
I would use it, but like if a guy smelled like that too, I'd.
And neither does these other objects underneath.
Yeah, 'cause
this
it's all
is some
fake.
kind of mechanism, and it looks like it has some kind of pivoting point right here.
Oh, yeah, it's a
that looks like
mechanism.
it kind of goes up
No,
and
this
down
guy is
like
too
this
much,
here.
man. I mean,
This-
Wow.
Oh, man. I should just make a joke channel where I do that. I mean, it'd be so much fun.
Yeah, that's the thing. You get a bunch of subscribers and get it rolling.
And
It
he's
tends to
looking
be a
at
ball
one
Oh my
of
god,
image of
that
the
you
desert.
probably could too, and you'd make tons of money. And then when you get like 500,000 subs, just
Oh, a
Ooh,
little.
that looks
What did
like
he get? A little
keyboard.
giraffe.
destroy everything.
Let's
Well,
see.
that's
Let's watch
all
the
kinds of
let
things,
us
but
let me see how
You guys tell me
he's
what you think.
analyzed
Your
that.
first,
Let's
impression.
get in here.
Okay,
Okay, where's it at? Oh, it's a
check
little.
this out, guys.
Whoa.
Right here. Now,
it done?
I don't know about you guys, but it's a metal something or other.
It's a metal.
Now,
It's a
I
metal
think I kidded
reindeer.
around and I called it like a steel dinosaur because it almost looks like the head, looks like a little black eye right there.
I
on the
can see
side,
that.
And looks like little arms sticking out of the front of it. Now, clearly that's not a metal dinosaur.
Oh.
However, whatever it is, it's reflecting. It
Snake
has
head
steel.
almost.
It's something that's on the ground, and it kind of looked like a little animal if you ask me. I'm not saying that's what it is, but either way you look at it, that's pretty funky. That's pretty.
I
cool.
would admit that's pretty funky.
It's a door. It looks like a door handle.
Yeah, can't really explain
Yes.
that on Devon
Yeah,
Island.
like a door handle, yeah.
And I find it very interesting. Like I said, when you look
Oh,
at
he's
that
live right
and the
now.
other objects I just showed you.
See.
From Cardiff, Wales. What's going on, Nathan? Good to see you in there.
Oh.
Oh, give it.
I guess it'd be
yeah,
we as
type
is it
something in
about
the chat,
midnight for
man.
you guys
Come on.
around there, or is it just breaking into the morning time there?
He have like a Templar T-shirt with that crops.
Pete Ferrero, he said, NASA, where's the biological information of Mars? They had to take substance. Even the Aztecs grew food on sides of mountains. Absolutely.
Make
And like I said before,
anyone
guys,
get
they
crazy
know
and
for
put
a
that the earth
fact
is flat.
I
Come
tried
on.
it. I said Mars is on Earth.
compound
Space
of the
travel is
soil,
fake. He didn't.
which they
give
found
you
back in
shit.
1975 from the.
Oh man,
Earth
he's,
is flat a
he's-
few times.
He's
a
wearing
few times.
Occupy Mars hat.
Give us the link.
Hey
Let's
guys,
put
yeah,
on
give us the
chat.
links and get all
Here we go.
The
people in
lander,
the chat
they,
to
you know,
this
it
channel.
basically took,
Yeah.
samples from the
something.
soil,
That'd be
and
Yeah.
it transmitted back
Let
this
me go
compounds, and they knew what
Here we go.
the soil is
Dump
made
it
of,
off real
at least
quick.
in that
Okay, here
particular
it is in
area.
Skype.
And what they did was they simulated it here on Earth, and all they do is use a little volcanic ash and mixed it together, and guess what? It grew better than most places here on Earth. So you're trying to tell me that there's no growth at all on this planet? I don't believe that. There's got to be some kind of growth, and at
happened to my YouTube
least
video?
It is the earth.
microbial
dude, it
life,
is
and I
the
believe
earth.
macro as well.
Capital letters
drop it
is
here.
gonna be more present.
Yes, Mauricio Rocha, what's going on? Good to see you there, man.
Should say
Soylent
Mars
Green
is
people. Remember that
simulated
moment
on
when he
the
said
Earth
it?
or something like
He's looking
this.
at these.
It's actually funny.
If you guys haven't seen that movie, it's funny because, well, it wasn't funny for him, but they literally seen all these dead people that were dying from diseases and everything else, and I forget exactly what the major cause
Okay.
of it was, but they
Chat
were
ready.
literally dying in the streets, right? So they were literally taking these people. He happens to go out, and he's seen these garbage trucks pick these people up and throw them in the back. Well, he decides to follow the garbage truck, and oh man. It goes to some plant, and they're literally chopping people up and putting them in these glass jars, and they were
What?
selling it on the shelves, and it was the cheapest food you
go?
could buy.
Why
Because I
can't
think
I find
olives
this
is
video
like
now?
$500 of like a glass jar, right?
No, I
it was like
lost it.
outrageous money for stuff. And but Soylent Green was actually
here we go.
people. He said Soylent Green is people. It's weird. Yeah.
For
Yeah, I
people
mean, you're right about
storming
that. We
this chat.
almost had free energy, but it never happened. Well, you know, the powers that be are going to stop all that. No money in free energy, right? But now they're starting to see the benefits to it. I'd love to be able to have a good solar array out here. I mean, I've got an electric car myself, and I've got a hybrid. I would love to have and just get it right from the sun, boom, right to there. Because people's argument is like, well, your car's not really free, man. You're getting it off, you know, you're plugging into the wall. Yeah, I know, but it's onto this huge power plant. And we actually have a hydroelectric plant, so in a sense, it's kind of free, right? But even the one we're tapping off of,
Look at the
that thing is
chat.
so
Come on,
large.
man.
My electric car is squat, and it uses nothing on that
There we
thing. It's
go.
like, you know, barely even drawing anything on it. So, and then when I do drive it, nothing's being given off. So, yeah, it does use a little bit of carbon, if you will, or coal, if you will. But my argument is, okay, like my neighbor, he's like, he used to watch them videos. He used to get really frustrated. Oh, these guys think just because they drive around an electric car that it doesn't use anything. You know, what about to build it? Well, my argument is like, okay, but you have a truck.
Trolls are
a
420.
Ford F1,
The guy's name is
Ford 350.
The guy 420 Alien says trolls are here.
He just
420
bought it. I think it was like $70,000 for this thing. 6.7 Cummins diesel in it. I said, what do you think it costs to put that thing together?
That's funny.
Full frame. My electric car is probably, he could probably take
Can
3
Chris
times
remove
the steel
the
that's in that
trolls?
truck, at least that, if not more, and probably make about, you know, maybe 4 or 5 of my cars. So it's like, yeah, so how much emissions is
What's he
that plant
talking
giving
about?
off to make your vehicle? So how is yours any better? So,
Yeah.
you know, and mine's so much smaller to make and design.
I can't hear this
that,
guy anymore.
You know, and this
Yeah, he's.
All right.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, he just says nothing.
Let's
I mean,
leave
he
him alone.
managed. He knows the art of speaking and saying nothing.
You're
at the
the
same
guy
time.
with the gun.
But yeah, the other video we were watching is, and we watched. Did you guys see the Mars video we watched yesterday? Should I show you that real quick, just so? And then we
I
can
believe
kinda
he started reading all the chat in the Flat Earth because
Oh, no, what'd he say?
He's with the mouth open,
Oh,
and
no,
he's like 30 seconds totally quiet looking at monitor.
Now I lost it.
And he's still completely
Hold on, let me go
in
back.
silence,
Let me see.
contemplating the chat.
Oh yeah, I see him.
That's great.
You need to be patient,
What's
man.
going on here?
Patience, pay.
Let's see.
We are reading. We are reading everything.
He's reading.
He's reading it.
Is he trying to delete everybody? Let me see. He's deleting. He deleted you, Iru.
No,
Oh,
man.
Iru's gone.
Did he?
He's going through and he's trying to delete us.
Yeah. He 1 minute completely in silence.
Somebody said, if the Earth is flat, how does water stay on the planet? What? Wait, what?
I'm not sure you mean by that, Kiki Lavelle. I guess it's Lavelle. Why no photos of Earth from Mars rover, you think? There are. Look them up. There are. You can actually see, the moon from,
Actually start making a little
Mars.
nervous.
All
All right,
you can
wants
see
to talk
that.
about it.
Oh, it's definitely there.
It's definitely there.
It was a funny time for this Friday, man.
That's
My
good to-
channel was deleted.
Did I make
Let
you
me
feel a little
check.
better?
Yeah, right now I feel a little better.
He's just
No,
reading
but the
chat.
guy's
Oh,
completely changed his vibration.
Karen message retracted.
Yeah, I did a typo.
Let me see.
We've dumbfounded him.
Flat Earth people, stop spamming.
Yep, Adam says Jean is in the house.
He's just reading everything. Like the one chat that's in there that's not from us. He's like reading. Funny.
The mouse, the face expression is.
It's funny, this face right here.
Jeranism.
Hey there.
Mars is not real. Wake up. Yeah, we're getting this influx of flat Earth weirdos in here, guys. It's
Flat
funny as
Earth.
hell. I'm
Okay,
actually reading these
yeah.
and dying here. I'm just
Yeah,
like
waiting
literally
for
dying.
that.
Oh, I think
Okay.
it's funny. No, you wake up. Smarten up.
Now he's seeing it.
Mars is
Dynamism,
flat too, yet we can
fancy.
see it round. Oh, imagine that. Oh my God, what do these people come out of?
We've wrecked his whole day now.
Yeah.
right, I'm out of here. I'm going to
You're
bring
the-
up something for you here real quick. And we can have fun with this one too. Where do we go here? Nope. Let me find this. What is this one? Okay, I'll put that in there. Wait, let's see if I can find it here. History. What is going on? Everything's so slow now. What do we do? Oh, good, that's better. I got scared for a second. Wait, what is going on here?
People are still spamming him. Prove your ball and stuff.
Bubbles in space. Nice.
Research bubbles in space.
He asked us to study science.
Oh, we have to study science?
Yes, he said that. We have our brain is flat and we need to study science.
Okay. Let's get on that, guys. We're going to start studying science. So this is what I was showing yesterday. Let me bring this up here. Oops.
Mount Sharp, also known as Ilus Mons, is a mountain on Mars with a height of 18,000 feet.
Look at all these photos. I mean, these are supposed. The name of this video is NASA's newly released images of Mars, 2020. But look at these images. I don't know how anybody can believe any of this. Look at this one. Do you believe that's from Mars?
No.
Okay. Let's see if we can go to another one. Do you believe this one's from Mars? Here it is. How about that one?
No.
How about this one?
That looks like Photoshop, honestly.
They all do. Ira, I actually used you again in my presentation yesterday. How long would it take you to make an image like this? Or this one? Let's see.
Well, the thing is, that kind of image, as for example, that one is really easy. I mean,
yes.
Nowadays with
they have like
with,
texture tools, right? This is just like paper bag texture.
Oh yes,
with some burn marks.
You have, for example, right now you can take a picture to that wall.
This wall.
And put.
Absolutely,
yeah,
great point. We should
because-
have kept it there.
Yes, because a lot of things start from real pictures.
How about like this one? I mean,
that is a rock.
Yeah,
It's a
that's
rock
a
on
rock.
Earth.
Yeah,
That's
rock
a
on
rock
Earth.
on Earth.
Take a
exactly.
picture of peeling paint or
Yes.
something like that.
How about this one? Here you can hear me. This, by the way, this video was released July 5th. Already has 1.1 million views.
Was the interior material of the sand body.
And it's just this guy. First of all, I was making a joke about it yesterday. He puts his own channel name over the Mars pictures as if they're copyrighted by him, which I don't think he understands. That's not what you're supposed to do. You can't.
And remember that Bob was showing the thing with the guy trying to emulate Mars's atmosphere and says that the stuff on the ground would be just like smoke, right? Super fine, and that's definitely not what you see.
Yeah, and he's like reading. He's just reading from the NASA press release or something like, "This is fine silt sand from rover feet. Fine silt sand is slightly smaller than heavier sand on top." It's like
Finer sand grains than on the undisturbed surface.
And that's what he does the whole video for 30
Every
minutes.
Martian spring, fans of dust are blown out from under the seasonal layer of carbon dioxide ice that forms a polar cap over the winter.
What?
Gas blowing out from under the ice carries with it.
And he just goes on through this whole thing. So I mean, the whole video is him showing images like, what is this one? Oh, it's a pile of dirt on Mars. Who believes
It's a
that?
pile of bullshit.
I see piles of dirt like that at the mines around here all the time.
How about this one? What is this one? He says these are, canyons and valleys. Of course, there's this picture. This one here, which I mean, this is the Atacama Desert down in near you, Iru.
Yeah. Well, not now.
Could be anything.
Now
They
Not
had
you,
that
not you.
away.
That's true. Far away from you right now.
Landscapes and stuff like
Jordan,
that, right?
What?
Yeah, Ido was saying like they're showing as well. They have these terraforming kind of software programs that they can make any kind of
Yes,
geology and
right.
stuff.
No, right now, man, we have so many great software to create terrains and landscape terrains, close textures. It's because we start a new phase in computer graphic that there are mega scans. Because the industry of the game industry demands more real
Realistic.
scenarios. So they develop or not develop. They start using real world scan technology, which is something that only use to
Like laser
scan
or something?
like laser to scan all buildings and trying to put in software like Google Maps and things like Google Earth, things like that. So the thing is that the game industry start demanding that type of quality, so they start using that technology. They adapt it to bring into the game engines. So right now everything starts from scanning real scenarios, especially
And then
landscape in terms of the goods or the forest, which has an insane amount of detail, and the tiny leaves, the tiny branches, the big branch, blah 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 blah. So right now, if you type mega scans, for example, and see the capability of the library that is for not for free, but anyone can access, is amazing, and the level of quality is bring from real life. So they bring real life things and start making tiny changes, so you cannot recognize any particular place. It's like everything is a new place all the time.
And people think
Yeah,
this
it's
is.
like
He
you-
thinks this is real. These pictures of Mars spinning. Which he says this one is when there was a dust cloud on Mars, and this one's Mars normally. From the Hubble, he says. Now, can Hubble turn around and look at Earth? No, but it can show you Mars spinning, supposedly. I mean, look at this one. I've never seen an image that looks more fake.
What the heck is that?
I don't know. He says some ocean valleys and cracks, and this is where rivers used to run, and the water on Mars, and this is a lake around a plateau, and this is the cliff. Here's some
Yeah, the thing
sand
the
deposits.
thing is that they can photograph and use if you are looking into, for example, Earth pictures, is the same thing. They just simply change the color or make some difference.
Yeah, you find places like this, is what you're saying. You find really
Yeah,
odd
there is,
geology all over the place. Yeah.
Exactly. So
I mean, this one.
Yeah,
here.
I was a buff looking into all kinds of NASA stuff from the people who believed that there were odd things there. So I would constantly go back to this one website where I would be, taking that in. This guy who was saying, you can see in this documentary about NASA that in the images that this guy, the director from the rover programs, has on the screen has a blue sky.
Right.
So the idea there was that they're hiding life on Mars, not that blue sky just says it's on Earth.
Here comes a crazy little dust devil here in a second that they say.
Yeah,
they
this
picked
is
up.
one of the ones this is an old one that they
This
have
one.
of that kind of.
Here comes a dust devil.
Oh yeah, there you go, staple. Oh, these are supposed to be new.
This is from 2020, supposedly.
Right.
That's what they are trying to tell us.
I
those
pasted a
guys.
video from a friend of us.
Rusty metal. It looks like rusty metal.
This is, the Atacama Desert looks just like this. Has rocks just like
we
it.
have a blue
That
background.
one had a blue sky on it too.
Yeah.
That one that they just showed.
This is the
Oh, yeah, this one.
the
Yeah, it's got a blue sky.
There you go.
Oh boy, look at beautiful
The heck?
Mars. I've never
What
seen
are they
anything
doing?
like
They
it.
just forget to paint the sky red or something?
I don't know.
What's going on here?
And they love to paint the shadow of the craft. I mean, that makes it real.
Yeah, but look at that shadow. The shadow is way too strong. It's just like a shadow you get on the Earth with the sun here. It shouldn't be the same. It should be much dimmer or
I
something.
mean, what is going on
Look
here?
at that, how fake that looks.
What is that supposed to be? I mean, what are these things? This is not how these would even look. I mean, what are those? It looks like little plants.
well, that is because it's Mars.
Oh, sorry. Plants are there.
It looks
Water's
like even
there.
something microscopic even that they might
So
use.
yeah, what you were
Who
talking about,
knows?
look at this wall. You would just take a picture of this wall, or you'd take a picture of these bricks, or take a picture of this brick, and then you could use a little touch-up tool, and you can say whatever you want.
Yeah,
There's
and in
Mars,
fact,
there's Neptune.
if you open the link that I sent to you and put about from 5 minutes forward, you're gonna see is that this guy from Mexico that has a flat Earth channel. In fact, he posts a few things with Dr. Sack, and he shows go to 5 minutes and just leave and you
With
can
sound
talk
or no
over.
sound?
No, without sound because
Okay.
it's in Spanish, but you
Gotcha.
can see a difference, or you can compare picture from Earth and the supposedly pictures from Mars, and
Look what they allow people to do. I'm
it's the
looking
same
over
thing.
here. Look over here. Mars in 4K. This video has 17 million views from a month ago. Mars in 4K from Elder Fox
Right now it's
Documentaries.
going.
Garbage. They love it. They love their garbage.
Yeah, right now it's gonna start to show different pictures from Earth and supposedly from Mars, and it's the same thing. Yeah. It's just the difference.
Yeah.
It's in the software that they use for change the hue, saturation, lightness, and maybe add different things.
Yeah, overlay, little orange color.
Yeah.
It's kind of overdone as well, the way they do it.
And the magical thing is that they say that for accomplish the mission and for don't go beyond what you're capable to do. So the rover it's only travel like 2 meters per day.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So with that you can feed 50 generations.
Take
with this
forever,
type
yeah.
take forever. And when they need it, they're gonna say that the rovers, lose control and go to a cliff and broke.
Devon Island, there it is. Thank you, Jordan Cooper,
There you
for the
go.
super chat. He says, it's obvious you are shilling for big corn chip. That's true. I am. Get your Fritos today. Genetically modified, of course, with your copycat accounts. I know. I have a copycat account at Twitter, copycat account at Yahoo. Man, I'm just copycatting accounts everywhere. Using my screen name to make accounts. How dare you? Yeah, I've seen lots of pictures from... Yeah, well, look at that. Where's that from? What he's showing now? From, like...
Denver, Iceland. And that is
Yeah.
from, I believe this is from a desert.
That's all they're doing. That's all they're doing.
Yeah. That is
all you
from
see.
a desert in I cannot remember the name, but
And the sad thing is when you see this, he's showing that NASA is there. It's not like we're just making up places on Earth and saying they're probably taking pictures from here. If you look there, that's NASA's there.
Yeah, they tell you that it's there so they can
Yeah.
go, well, we already told you we had a base there.
Right.
Just like they film all of the ISS stuff in the underwater pool, and then
Yeah,
they
we
tell
already have
you
one.
it's the practice pool, and they're like, well, we told you we practice in a pool. You can't say we
They're
filmed that.
training.
Right.
Training guys, because it's just almost like Mars. Just to
Yeah, and
place it.
Antarctica. They say that the Antarctica is the best place for training because it has the same geology capabilities like Mars, and they say that. So
Except, Mars has is missing 99% of the atmosphere.
well, Karen, you cannot start, leave something to.
Oh, look at Mars there. Pretty.
Yeah.
Oh, thought we were going to get closer.
Look at that suit.
What is that? So what is up with that?
So there you have Mars and Devo Island, and
Look at that. That is very interesting there.
it's the same thing.
It's the
It's the same.
Now, again, if you tell a space lover that, they'd say, of course it looks the same. It's a planet, just like we're a planet made of rocks, just like we're made of rocks.
Yes.
Duh.
Duh. What do you think it's going to look like?
I saw a black box there.
Yeah, that was a black box. We should have paused it. Gone through here. Actually, the black box. Oh wait, this is Earth. Never mind. Not
yeah,
here.
it's a
No
handle.
black box here. I want to see this one real quick. Mars in 4K. 17 million views. How many subscribers?
Wow.
Wow. And they only have 220,000 subscribers. So How do they get just Mars in 4K, which means you just wow. I mean,
Mars in 4K, but I don't have the monitor to see in 4K.
look at this in 4K.
So for me, it's the
oh,
same
look at the
thing.
tracks.
Yeah, play it on your 4K TV so you can see high resolution dirt.
Yeah.
Wow, opportunity. Rub al Khali. Rub al
That is
Khali.
that's it. Musman, terrorist Musman.
And then it's gonna start swinging this. Okay, yeah, I believe this.
Look at that flat horizon.
Flat horizon.
Look at the stitch in the pictures.
Ooh.
And
So
4K, man.
4K, I
You
believe
can
it.
see
Oh
the
wait.
grain.
Oh, look at this
the
silver box. This
sand
is a
grain.
silver box. Another silver box.
That's
Have
water.
they ever shown stars from Mars?
Is there a metal dinosaur?
I don't think
See-
they have. I have never seen it.
They
Is
show
there a metal
a few
dinosaur?
times like the analemma seen from Mars, supposedly.
I mean, what are the space lovers? They look at this and they're just amazed and impressed and like, oh, I can't wait till Elon gets there and makes potatoes.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't. I'm gonna scroll down and see the comments in a second, but I can already. What are the comments going to say? So beautiful, so majestic. Let's have some predictions.
Yes, yes. I want to be there right
yes,
now.
so majestic. We're just a few years away. So
I give my
amazing.
life to go and never come back.
Yeah.
I want to
Never
have
come.
There's so
children.
much there.
I want to have children behind that hill.
Yes.
Would you want to live there? It's just so.
It's the dumbest thought or belief I've ever heard anybody. It'd be the equivalent of somebody saying like, we should go and build encampments and live inside volcanoes. And you'd be like, why would you do that? We can live outside of volcanoes where things are very safe and we can breathe. And they'd be like, no, but we need to go live inside the volcanoes.
But when you have things like Greta Thunberg saying
Right.
that they saw the future and the planet is going to explode, you need to find another place to go.
She said that? She said that, actually?
No, but
Close enough.
because the coronavirus came.
That
But-
Stephen Hawking used to say that. He used to
Yes.
say that
Yeah.
we were going to get destroyed by an asteroid or aliens would find us and they would probably be mean and want to destroy us. So
He said we had
Oh,
100
Greta
years, 100 years to colonize Mars or else we're done.
Yeah, no, but that is the slogan of all these guys in the space agencies. They say that we must become a multiplanetary species because our planet is on risk and we need to,
Yes.
have an alternative.
If that were true, then wouldn't somebody be on the moon by now with a base? Hero?
For example, yeah.
think.
You'd think.
They will. They will.
Just wait.
around the corner.
Okay, I'll wait a little longer. Not much longer though. I got shit to do. Can't wait all day for them. Looks very real to me.
And
All
now
right,
you
I gotta see the
contribute
comments.
1 view to this video, Gerard.
I know. It's just 17 million. I was number 17,893,654 or 655. Oh boy, get your face mask right now. Occupy Mars.
Come on.
That or they little chonies, one or the other. I'm not sure which one it is. It looks like either way. Face diaper or little chonies. Let's see. They got 4K
Well,
on Mars,
yeah.
but security cameras still running 144p. And so are NASA cameras, don't lie.
Yeah.
It's crazy how much Mars just looks like dead Earth. I hope when we get to Mars, scientists will recover the lost rovers so they can be honored in a museum. What?
Come on.
Stop it. The images speak for themselves. Okay. So this is what Earth looks like when destroyed. I don't get it. People, if you thought COVID is bad, wait until we get to Mars and pick up some ancient hibernating viral code.
Oh,
boy,
God.
Here we go.
Too much fantasy.
Oh, boy. Imagine the interstellar soundtrack on the way to Mars. No, I will not imagine
I see
that.
flat earthers. I see the flat earther text.
Where?
Chess 89.
What?
There, 102. Now with the image, the flat earther will say that Mars is also flat.
Oh, boy. This is unbelievable. What the human race is capable of is beyond incredible, yet we are so eager to end and destroy ourselves due to political, religion, and skin differences. So sad. Just funny.
You put so energy,
I did, I
so
read
much
that. I was very
energy
excited.
that in that reading.
Yes.
Another myth, right?
It's
The
incredible
idea
how
that
far
space
we've come
brings
in
people
just 100
together.
years. From Model T Ford motor cars and steam trains to spaceships going millions of miles to other planets, to discoveries in medicine and television, etc. That is one side of it. The other is the ability to wipe ourselves out, and it's probably more likely than not we are with the world of the unrest.
Oh my God! Imagine if you believe that.
That one down there says now. All of a sudden you showed up with Mars and 4K. Weird.
I tend to make some background music. Sorry, guys.
No, it's good. I liked it. All right, we're at 3 hours. That was a fun show. We cheered up Iru as much as possible. Oh, he has part 2.
Oh, now it's an 8K.
No, it's more Mars and 4K part 2.
With the same type? No. Just 170.
Oh, that'd be insane if he's this. And it's probably the same images over and over again.
But then backwards.
Yeah, just did the video reverse. Era is so brilliant. Oh, look at that. So nice. And I love this too. Oh man, go back there. This is my favorite. Whenever you see the tracks, I love that it's just rolled over this rock like nothing, right? Rock later.
And
look at this one. Look at this rock. The rover just monstered over this rock. Give me a break.
The rover gets destroyed immediately.
Yeah, what is that? Like it wouldn't. I mean, come on, it's a monster truck now. It was just right over rocks, no big deal. Didn't get the out kick at all. Just right over it. But it did take 6 weeks to do so. So that's how they'd be able to tell you it took 6 weeks to get over it. They practiced that in the Mars yard. Right. That was fun. Okay. Iru, I don't know how else I can cheer you up.
No, man, this show was fantastic. Thank you so much for. Now I need to go sleep alone, and because Linda is working, so
she works at the overnight shift.
She works overnight because she works helping. I don't know how to pronounce in English, but he is like an assistant in the not hospital, but some type of institute for people that has problems. It doesn't matter the age. Could be old men or could be young women, but people that are discapacitado. How you pronounce that, Rodrigo?
Or like handicapped people.
Yeah.
Okay.
People with disabilities.
Okay. Yes, exactly. So some days she works on night. So today and tomorrow is gonna be one of those days. So now when I get back to sleep, go to sleep, I'm going to remember that my channel go, and I make a call to you, Jeran.
Okay, call me.
We'll
speak
talk 2 hours.
We'll
2
talk
hours
all about
via
it.
cell phone.
So yeah, please, again, I know we talked about it at the beginning, but if you could, support the people that you like, the people on the show would be awesome. Even if it's, a few bucks that you can. And if you can't share the shows, try and put them on your social media, get other people a chance to see. And if you can't do that, then support the show by watching. And if you can't do that, support the show in memory and in all your thoughts. And maybe if you think hard enough about it, due to the collective consciousness, it'll actually increase the view count. If you meditate on it and you think about it.
3 hours meditating about that.
3 hours meditate for 1 view count upkick. And so thank you, everybody. Let's see here if anybody's got anything coming up. Austin's gone. Support him if you'd like. Patreon.com/WitchItGetsIt. I think Bob left. Bob gone?
Yeah, Bob left.
Yeah. We have Glowbusters Sunday, 12 noon Pacific. That's on DLive, DLive.tv/Glowbusters-FE. And we'll also be simulcast on my channel, DLive.tv/jeranism, so be there for that as well. Let's see here. Iru, go ahead and tell people where they can find you for now, and definitely we know they can support you. And also, hopefully, do we get your channel up to 1,000? I don't know. Let's try and I doubt it. People weren't.
No, I doubt it too. But
maybe all the people listening
so
are already listening. We're at 81. That's right. We'll keep doing it.
Yeah. No. That was a nice kick.
That's
kick.
good.
You can find me, of course, for English people. MPT for all is my English channel. So I'm gonna be uploading after. Maybe you make a revision of my subtitles, so I don't fail again. I'm gonna be uploading the next 9 chapters of this series. I hope anyone like it. And then I reopen my Spanish channel, which is just Nur para Todos in Spanish. and I'm
So
gonna
they
try
let.
to
Oh yeah, you can
recover
do the
that.
channel same name, right? Yeah, you can do that.
Yes, I did that because I was sorry, I'm gonna reset myself.
Start over.
I opened a new channel 3 months ago when I received the first strike and they suspend my channel. So I call that channel Nur para Todos TV.
Right.
So now,
TV.
when they close my original channel, they give me the opportunity. No, they don't give me nothing. I enter to Nur para Todos TV and I delete the TV letters. So it's just Nur para Todos and you can find it. It's with a different logo, of course. It's a different logo. It's a blue with white color logo. But I have 4,000 subscribers already because I have from the past, from those 3 months in the past when I opened, and nothing. I gonna start doing again. I fortunately I have my own backup for my Spanish channel. I also have the link that you show at the beginning of the show. I have the library, which is like a backup channel. So I'm gonna start uploading all the videos again and wait a little bit to do my streams, my live streams for, you know, you need to wait like 1 month to the people to get back and notice that you are gone and trying to find you again. Of course, the sad part is that I was with 87,000 subscribers, and that is going to take like a year to...
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be hard, that part. So thank you so much for the Patreon people and for the English supporters.
Oh, and Jersey Bob, thank you so much for the super sticker with the rocket flying around, blasting off. Thank you. That's awesome. Tor Rasmussen, thank you. Also, he says, Iru Heart. And thank you for putting words to our thoughts. God bless you all. And Matthew Woodburn said, oh, yeah. Thank you guys so much. But definitely sub. I see Karen dropping it in the chat there. Blue Bottom at Jeranism, banned from Mars Anomalies, might as well hang myself now. Yes, yeah, your life is over now. If you can't watch Mars Anomalies, what are you going to do with your life? I don't know. So appreciate everybody watching, and let's go with Rodrigo. Now, Rodrigo has sent me Space Crack episode or volume 2. I started perusing it before the show. I think it's awesome. Again, too much information. Again, I know I tell Rodrigo that all the time, but I think if I were you, and I'm just who am I to give advice, but I would make that like a monthly thing where your patrons or whoever get it on the first of every month or something, and maybe keep it a little short so you can get it done in a month. It's a lot to read. I want to go through it, but we'll have a show on my channel where we will highlight some sections of it and show it off a little bit. But I think it's awesome. So I know
Thank you. Yeah, there's quite a lot of stuff in there. I totally understand what you mean, and I was even planning to add more, and then I was like, okay, no, let's
stop.
Leave that to...
Yeah, it's good
because there's other stuff. There's more even space focused than itch, but yeah.
But I think it could be half as long, and it would still be worth as much. I think it's a great idea, and I just picked a random page from the index and started reading. And again, I felt captivated. I wanted to read more. It's something that there's not enough of out there. Where else can you get that kind of content? You can't. So anyway, what I was going to suggest, and I'll suggest it live, and you're welcome to turn it down if you want, but I know you give it out to your subscribers. To your patrons, right? And maybe if we do it on my show, what I would like to do just for this edition, number 2, right? Not for number 3, but maybe we can give it out to my patrons as well. And
of course.
Okay, so that'd be cool because then my patrons can get it and they can read it, and then if they really like it and want to get volume 3, then maybe that will add more patrons to your Patreon.
We'll be moving probably to my website for memberships there.
Okay.
When we get that finishing. Yeah, today was my birthday, so that was a cool birthday stream. Yeah. It was. I almost forgot.
Hey, happy birthday, man! Happy reincarnation.
Not 40. Are you? Are you 40?
No, I'm 43.
Oh, 43. Oh, okay. I thought you were younger than me.
Oh, that's right. You're the same age as me.
Yeah, we're 77.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Don't like Karen.
All right. Well, cool. So pretty soon, we'll show the Spacecraft Volume 2. If you read, Volume 1 was awesome. Volume 2 looks amazing. It just looks so packed full of information. So we could never get
I'll
through
send
it
you
on
the
our stream.
very final one because the cover is not finished and the index not, because that's one of the things I thought was cool to learn how to use make the index.
Yeah.
Because you can not the table of contents, but the index in the back.
Right, where somebody clicks. So I saw, I went to it and it said Werner von Braun, and then page 62, and you click 62, it goes right to that page.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And I have to still finish it because there's more that needs to go there. So yeah, that's really cool kind of feature that I just enjoy working at those things. But yeah, you're right. I think it could be divided into more. You're gonna see that there's like the final part. If you take a look, it's a whole analysis of the film, of a Monty Python film. And I created some art. I basically cut from the film the animations. I created some original art out of it, and yeah, there's some things that could be, maybe it's a good idea to keep doing, because that's my plan, to do more analysis of films, because I collected so much information, and it's also good to it just, like you're saying, when you start thinking about it and trying to find ways of saying it, it does do something. It is interesting, to say the least. That you
it's just
to think through problems.
And it's something a lot of people, you're not going to find somewhere else. I mean, I'll say that over and over again. There's just not somebody writing about the stuff that we talk about, and for good reason, right? I'm not a great writer. I actually had thought about doing a book, and I sat down and I just had a problem with, I would write and then I would correct it, and I would go back and I would correct it, and it just seemed like a constant, like I'll never get through this, because I'm just not a writer. I mean, for someone just to sit down and write who's not a writer is difficult. For somebody like you, who is, it's clear that you've written in the past, that you had to write for your education or for your job or for whatever, you can tell you're a writer. So it comes across as a good read, and it's along the subject lines that we look for. It's hard to find. Usually when we're reading things, it's from the things that we go against, right? I mean, that's what a lot of I read is some of the stuff that I just don't necessarily agree with.
Like the other side.
Right. I mean, there's nothing for me to read that's on our point of view. Or our side.
Yeah,
So
there's some stuff there, that's meant to be self-reflexive on the community. Some of the traps that we've been, and for instance, I even question, there's something called slogan boxing, where I'm even looking into that notion, truth belief is the enemy of knowing, that phrase. And I'm kind of looking into that into many ways. I'm turning it around over its head to get to the bottom of it, and basically I kind of show that it's not a logical statement in a way, even that one, but for different reasons. So that's the kind of thing that's kind of self-reflexive on to say, this is some of the limits of our thinking, and when we use some of these slogans, for instance, like what are we trying to do with these slogans? They're effective in some ways, but they're slogans on the other hand. So even that kind of question for me is interesting. I don't know, but it may not appeal to everyone, and some things might appeal more to some than others. So it's interesting. I would love to hear feedback from it. So thank you so much for taking the time to take a look into it.
Yeah, we'll look at that.
Yeah,
for sure. So that'll be coming up soon. And Karen, what do you got coming up? Anything going on?
Yes, actually, this Sunday I got another Bitches Brew stream. Should be, I think, on Jen's channel, which is the Truth Seeker 69. And then Tuesdays I do Strange World with Mark Sargent, and Thursdays Unveiling This Realm with Brian.
And that'll be on DLive for now, or?
Well, I don't know.
No.
But yeah, we do.
We'll find it.
We do have DLive channels to stream on,
Mm-hmm.
and it looks like I can still stream on my channel.
Oh, I thought you got a strike.
I did. I got it was for a copyright. It was from when we were playing videos of those people making those horrible propaganda videos about putting masks on children.
Right.
And we were just showing how horrible they were, and one of them gave us a copyright strike and had our video taken down.
Great.
I guess they didn't like us calling them heathens.
No, they didn't like that much.
Telling them that they were, abusing children. So.
All right, and I'll release the chest in a minute for the. I know D Live is probably waiting for that, or not? Yeah. And for me coming up, I know next Wednesday. Just for those keeping track, if you don't know, Jason Goodman, who is a great guy. Does a lot of street work in New York and is friends with David, but has never looked into Flat Earth. Says he's open to have a conversation about it. So David Rose and myself will be talking to Jason Goodman on my channel on Wednesday. That is at least the rumor. So we'll let you know about that. Again, we have Globebusters Sunday, 12 noon Pacific. The great thing about Globebusters is Bob is keeping it very Flat Earth centric and Flat Earth related. So people have been enjoying that. And then for my patrons, if you're listening, hopefully, I don't know how many of my patrons are listening right now live, but Sunday after Globebusters, I'm going to do a patrons only kind of hangout where I'll put the link into Patreon. You guys will get it about an hour before, and then I'll let people come on kind of like I do on the Thursday show. I'll give you the link to StreamYard, and people can jump on, and we'll just have a good conversation for a few hours after Globebusters on Sunday. So keep an eye out for that for my patrons. It'll be a fun little Sunday evening couple hours. So we'll be doing that, and again, then back to Monday, we'll have Jeranism Monday Night Raw, the one and only ad-free experience on Truth Frequency Radio, or you can watch it on my other YouTube channel, Jeranism Raw. And then we start all over again and have another fun week next week. So any final words, anybody? Are we all good?
I also almost forgot most important thing.
Yeah, tell about your most important thing. Yes, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
So go to flattoberfest.com. I put the website in the chat, and it's just been updated, so there's more information about who's going to be there. And so, yeah, keep going back as I keep updating it. It's going to be fun. You can get
It's
tickets.
gonna be with mask.
No masks.
No masks are allowed.
No.
Required.
None allowed.
You are so
Did you tell?
responsible.
But I don't know. Does Iru know it's in a Masonic temple?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
you do.
I heard that.
Shrine
Like a Brazilian, like Brazilian's conference.
Yes, yes, exactly.
But you know what? I went there yesterday to talk to the woman who runs it, and she was super cool about it, and she's got the same attitude about this whole COVID crap that we do, actually. And she's very open-minded to Flat Earth, and she has actually family members who are Flat Earth. And she told me that that no masks would be required; it'd be fine, and that if anything did happen, like if anybody did complain about it or whatever, that we would get called and tipped off beforehand because all the cops and the judges and everybody are Masons.
I don't doubt that.
She said, "Well, we'll know ahead of time anyway. We'll have fun. Don't worry." And I was like, "Sweet."
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, God. Oh, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Oh, boy, do we need to get into that? That's a whole nother show. Let's start a new show. Let's start a new show and get Rob Skiba here to talk about No. Thank you, everybody in the D Live. I just released the chest. Hopefully, you guys got something good. Dr. Kaufman and Marty, that was a great show. I mentioned earlier, you guys got to check that out. What do we have? Dollar Vigilante did a good show today. The app video today was good on Tides. So there's all kinds of good stuff going around. You just have to know where to find it. But I appreciate everybody so much. And again, check us out for sure on Sunday for Globebusters. If you're a patron, keep an eye on Patreon, and I'll be releasing the link there. And if you can't make it, it's all right. It'll be on my website for you to review. But if you want to be a part of it and talk to me, then be there on Sunday evening. My guess is with the about 3 p.m., probably about 5 p.m. Pacific time on Sunday. A few hours after Globebusters. Give me time to eat, and then we'll get started on that. All right, guys, it's been fun. Any final words? Are we good?
Good.
All right.
Good.
Sounds good. We'll talk to you guys soon. I remind you to do your own research, because when you do, you'll never again believe all the bullshit you've been taught. Till next time, this has been Jeranism. Peace.
Peace.
Good weekend.